Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Welcome back to the Dickey's Barbecue pregame show with Coach Joe McBride of the Cowboys. Win over Longview last week. Didn't really sparkle, but were you biting your nails off there in that last quarter when you had that thrilling comeback?
I actually was more relaxed in the fourth quarter because we started playing like I expected us to play the first few quarters. I felt like we were finally relaxed. And so, really my mind is just about getting better. I'm not – obviously you want to win every game, but, I don't want to get too caught up in all the media hoopla. I just want to know my kids and get them better every quarter, and I expect us to be a lot better tonight. We better be.
What'd you like about the team character?
Well, it's a great testimony to them and what they put in the offseason. There's no quit in them. They believe in each other, and I just think we had a lot of nerves and mixed with Longview being a great football team. I mean, Longview's they're a top 10, 15 football team every year, and I think they will, as people see, if they stay healthy, I think they're going to be a pretty big threat in Division II because they got Division I big-time players everywhere it counts.
You said you weren't happy with the rhythm. How do you get that back starting tonight, like in the first quarter?
We got to be better on first down. We were not very good at all on first down, and it kept us out of rhythm, and it kept us predictable.
What about Skylar Bonneau? How did you like what he did last week, and what do you look for him to improve on?
Well, I mean, it was his first start against a tremendous football team and a lot of speed and athleticism. So, at first we just wanted to take it easy and make sure we didn't put him in a position where he felt like he had to win a game. We just wanted him to get the butterflies out, and we actually saw that. We felt like in the fourth quarter we saw that glossiness out of his eyes and had kind of that competitive spirit started really rising and made a lot of good checks up front and did a lot of things, but we expect to get more and more out of him out of the passing game as these weeks go by. We just don't want to dump too much on him too fast.
With Cowboys coach Joe McBride, and how do you see Boyd on offense?
Well, they're good. They always have a running back that'll tote the rock as good as anybody, and they are very balanced with their passing game, and so in defensive, they play hard. To me, they remind me a lot of us, from just the kind of kids they have and probably the socio-economical and all that. And I just think, they'll beat your butt if you don't come ready to play.
Coach, good luck tonight. Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's Coach Joe McBride on the Dickey's Barbecue pregame show. We'll talk to Boyd coach Don Drake. That's coming up next. Cowboys football continues on Champion Sports after this timeout.
At Frost, we could talk to you about our 24/7 online banking. Or we could talk to you about our more than 1,100 ATMs across Texas. We can even talk to you about our mobile banking app that lets you pay bills, transfer funds, and deposit checks from anywhere. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we enjoy more than to just talk to you.
Thank you for calling Frost. How may I help you?
We're here with the technology and convenience you want and the service you deserve. Frost. Banking, investments, insurance.
Welcome back to the Dickey's Barbecue pregame show with Brian Irwin, Marcus head coach. Coach, how did it feel to break that 5-game losing skid with the win last week?
Felt marvelous. It was great. We needed to win. We needed to win badly. And, it was a big rivalry game, the Axe. It meant a lot to our kids and our schools. Big win in 5-5A, so it was huge.
Going into tonight's game, have you done some shuffling along the offensive line?
There's been some shuffling along the entire team pretty much the whole year. We've had a little consistency, I guess, the last couple of weeks. And I think we're getting better. We're becoming a better football team. And, this time of year to do it. Weather's cooling off. It's almost November. And this time that our teams usually come together.
You had some injuries, big injuries at quarterback and running back. How does Andrew Parrish look now stepping into the starting quarterback role tonight?
Andrew's doing a great job. He had a real slow start last week against
with Brian Irwin, Marcus Marauders head coach. Is your tight end Caden Smith, is he the real deal? He's only a sophomore.
Oh, he's the real deal, yeah. I'm glad he's on my team.
And how about the physicality of your team? Are you kind of like a microcosm of Coppell? I mean, you guys are 2-5, they're 5-1, I know that. But as far as toughness and physicality with the running game and on your defense?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. You know, we've established this mentality 7 years ago that we want to be a physical football team, and that's the way we do things, and we take great pride in it. We may not be the biggest, the strongest, the most talented group this year, but we still expect to be physical and be able to run the football.
What kind of game do you see tonight with Coppell?
I think it's going to go the fourth quarter. At least I hope it does. We're going to try to get into the fourth quarter. If we can get into the fourth quarter, execute in the fourth quarter and try to steal one. We're a huge underdog. It'd be one of the biggest upsets in the state of Texas if we could pull this thing off. But our kids believe, our coaches believe we've got a great plan, and we're going to do everything we can to get to the fourth quarter.
Coach, there was a lot of chatter this last week about the 91-0 Alito win over Western Hills. What are your thoughts on
that? First of all, I hope we don't get beat 91-0 tonight. Coppell's got a great football team. Secondly, the little bit I know about it, I don't think anybody ran up the score on purpose. There are only like 25 or 30 plays from scrimmage. Things get out of hand in a hurry, and I understand they pulled their starters after the first quarter. You do things like that, it's up to the opponent. The opponent's got to step up and play too.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the second and third string guys or the reserves not to play when you get a big lead, and they're in there in the second and third quarter, right?
That's right. They want to play hard. They want to get a chance to play. They don't get a chance to play that often. Especially when you're on a team like ours. We're battling every week and close games every week. We don't have the fortune of getting second, third string guys in there. With a team like Alito, they can get those guys in there because I guess their point margin right now is 66 points. So they're playing a lot of kids. But sure, those kids are going to go in there and play hard.
Coach, good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
It's Brian Irwin, the head coach for the Marcus Marauders on the Dickey's Barbecue pregame show, which continues. Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio after this timeout. And we'll eschew the timeout. Adam Center has booted it off to the black and silver-clad Marcus Marauders. First play from scrimmage was a run off the left side by Suzuki. It's 2nd and 6. Andrew Parrish, sophomore quarterback. They run it a lot. They've only thrown 12 passes this season. They average 12 passes this season. They go off the left side. A run by Nate Hopkins, a sophomore running back. He picks up 5. It's 3rd and 1. We played 50 seconds here at beautiful Marauder Stadium in Flower Mound, Texas. This 5-5A district game between the Coppell Cowboys and the Marcus Marauders. As we are scoreless, they run to the line. Andrew Parrish, quarterback, slot right. First flag of the game, and they pitch right. And Albright tries to turn the corner. He's smothered at the 32-yard line. The first man through for Coppell to get him was Chris Atkins, the defensive back. As we check out the flag here, let's look at the offense of the Marcus Marauders. Their offensive coordinator is Greg Cranfield. Quarterback is Andrew Parrish. He's a 5'10", 160-pound sophomore. He hands off to Nate Hopkins, the freshman running back, and Brian Suzuki, the fullback. He throws to Jake Cushing, Blake Bowling, and Caden Smith. We've talked about him a lot, the sophomore tight end. And across the front, it's Troy Elliott, Creighton Barr, and offside against the Coppell Cowboys. So it'll be another 5 and a first down for the Marcus Marauders. They hurried to the line with that offensive line. Their center is Dallas Nichols, right guard Dylan Russell, and Logan Russell is the right tackle. They look to the offensive coordinator, Coach Cranfield, on the near side. 1st and 10 from the far hash of the 39. Parrish, a sophomore quarterback, shouts the signals on the audible. Handoff left side, and again it's Hopkins. He puts his shoulders down and works his way out to the 44, a gain of 5 before he's knocked down at 2nd and 5. And Barry, we're underway here at Marauder Stadium.
Yeah, Jimmy, and so far tonight we've seen wide receiver Dawson Bailey used in a number of capacities. Out on the wing that time, he lined up as a fullback on their first play from scrimmage. So they're kind of trying to move him around to provide some lead blocks for that young back Nate Hopkins.
And it's 2nd and 6 from the 44. They run it. They haven't thrown yet. As we said, they average 12 passes a game. He goes into the teeth of the Coppell defense. He picks up 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Let's set that Coppell defense across the front. 225 pounds The front seven, the front three, 248. They're led by Solomon Thomas at defensive end. Chris Biggers, the nose tackle. John Harubin, defensive end. The weak side backer is Killian Bresnahan. Outside backer is Collins Okachka. We'll get the rest of it after this play. 3rd and 2. Ball center of the field. Parrish looks to the near side. 9:47 to play here in the first quarter. We're scoreless in this 5A district game between these two clubs. Coppell 5-1. And 2-5 the record for Marauders. They run the horse, and it's Hopkins. He gets the first down into Coppell territory at the far side at the 48.
Yeah, a good 6-yard walk-off that time, so they're moving it down the field here, Jimmy. The Marauders with an early drive that started at their 20, and it's consumed 6 plays so far, and they're into plus territory now.
Elliot Tostrud is the inside backer. Bo Anderson, the outside linebacker. Right corner, Troy Parker. Left corner, Jacob Murray. Safeties are Chris Atkins at strong. And Bryce Vonsrehulen is the free safety.
Jacob Murray applying that hit out of bounds, but there's Marcus going to the air for the first time tonight.
That freaked me out. Like I said, they averaged 12 passes, and they completed to the 39, so a gain of 7. 2nd down and 3. We're down to 9:15 with the clock stopped here early in the first quarter. Marcus eschewing the red color. They're in their nice black with silver bottoms and the pink for October Cancer Breast Awareness Month. And Parrish fake handoff to Hopkins. He's going to throw. He cranks it up over the middle and overthrows at the 5-yard line. And it was intended for the wide receiver, Jack Cushing, the junior wideout. And he's just a little bit too much, a little too hard there, Barry. Overthrew him by about 3 yards.
Yeah, good play action by Andrew Parrish. Great bite on the fake, too. You know, he set in the pocket real well, squared up, had time to throw it. Just missed his receiver, Cushing, by a couple of yards. Cushing had the defender beat there, Jimmy, a pretty good ways.
So it's 3rd and 3, 9:11 to play, first quarter, ball at the far hash. Slot receiver left, one to the split to the left side. There's Hopkins again. He has a nice hole around the left side. He goes to the 30-yard line before he is brought down to the Marauder Stadium turf. And coming up to get him was Jacob Murray, the left quarterback. But first down, they moved the sticks.
Indeed, and Hopkins had run for just shy of 100 yards coming into tonight's game, and he's already got about 30 yards on this opening possession.
The freshman running back has 1 touchdown this year as they substitute freely now. They look like the Raiders now with those black uniforms. Nice-looking uniforms. I'm used to them wearing the Ohio State colors, the crimson red. So it's 1st and 10 from the 31. We're scoreless. Parrish drops back, a 2-step drop, flush out of the pocket, rolls near side, straightens up, throws, and just a little too wide to the left of his wide receiver, Blake Bowling. It's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and another thing that's interesting to me, Jimmy, is they're going right at Solomon Thomas's side. You know, I mean, he is a big bookend defensive end, and they're going right with getting 5-6 yards a pop early on at least. That time they ran away from his side on that little rollout pass, and he was giving chase. He peeled off his blocker over there on the right side, but it'll be interesting to see that matchup between him and the tackle.
2 wides to the near side, a back, and Parrish shows a good arm. He throws it over the middle. Blake Bowling had it at the 13-yard line, but he was absolutely decimated by Troy Parker, the right corner. He came up and laid the plastic to him, Barry, and boy, couldn't have caught that if he would have stick him on his fingers. What a
no. That was kind of a la Jack Tatum, but legal, you know.
Jack Tatum, as we said, the Marauders wearing the black Raider-type uniforms and instead of their red. But Cowboys all in white tonight with their white helmets and the black and red pinstripes up the side. There's a handoff to Hopkins. Big opener. He gets to the 21-yard line, and he picks up 6 before he's stacked up by the right side of the Cowboys defensive line. Chris Atkins, the strong safety, came up to finish him off. It's 4th and 5. What do you do here, Coach?
Well, I was going to say, kind of the off-gray tops for Coppell. You know, they got ivory pants and helmets and the gray. 4th and 5. You know, he's been rolling out lately. Parrish has, so rolling out to his right and looking to the sideline. They might try that again, although they're going to call a timeout here first, it looks like.
First timeout whistled by referee Ty Mitchell. And he's going to call it to Coppell. So with 8:04 to play in the first quarter, we're scoreless. We'll return you to Marauder Stadium as you're listening to Cowboys Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Welcome back to Marauder Stadium. 8:04 left on the first quarter clock. We're scoreless. Coppell still touched the ball. The Marauders started from their 25. They've had a nice drive now. They've gotten it to the Coppell 26. Referees for tonight is Ty Mitchell, umpire Roy Nelson, headlinesman Brett Litch, is Barry Justin Pierce. Parrish, the 9 out of 9, a touch run for 11 yards and 2.8. They're going to try a 43-yard field goal out of the hold of Jack Cushing. Place kicker John Coppens, who has 4 field goals this year. Let's see if he can tack the 42-yarder. It's an end-over-end kick. Does it have enough? Yes, it does.
Yes, does.
Wow.
Yes, it does.
Man alive, 7:58 to play here in the first quarter. And Marcus draws first blood with the 43-yard field goal, making it 3-0. Marcus. 7:58 to play first quarter. Will return to Marauder Stadium. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
Just like every parent, you want the best for your child. While you want your child to be healthy and to enjoy participating in sports, you may also have concerns about their abilities and possible injuries. This is where Velocity Sports Performance can help. Whether your child wants to be the star of the team or just wants a little more playing time, Velocity Sports Performance can help your young athletes reach their goals. Visit their Coppell location at 801 Hammond Street near Bethel Road and Freeport Parkway, or visit them online at velocitysp.com. Become a better athlete today at Velocity Sports Performance.
Played 4 minutes and 2 seconds here. That's the time it took for the Marauders to drive from their 25 to the Coppell 26, and then Coppens boots through the 43-yard field goal. John Jon by his first name, his 5th field. So the Marauder type unit, their pink shoes, lead it 3-0. Coppens has it cued, ready to boot it to Troy Parker. He hangs back at his 2-yard line. And Coppens ready to drop the arm. Good crowd on hand tonight. Coppell traveling well on the far side. Now we have a whistle. They want the clock to be pumped up. The play clock, that is. So that starts. That's down to 20 seconds now. Coppens gets into it as a low line drive kick, bouncing at the 17. Parker at the 5. Parker 15. Center of the field. They had a 98-yarder this year earlier against McKinney Boyd. Out to the 50 into Marauder territory before he's gang tackled at the 45-yard line. And the first guy to take him down for Marcus was Sam Morris. Otherwise, Troy Parker would have had another long touchdown return. So let's set up Coppell for you on offense. Cowboys 5-1 this year. They are coached by Joe McBride, 267 across that front line. Skylar Bonneau, the 5'11", 190-pound junior quarterback. He'll hand off to the two-headed running monster, Gavin McDaniel and Charles West. He throws to Obi Obialo and Josh Fink, Blake Mahan. Across the front, it's Kevin Gray, Brian Barron, Seth Margolis, Roger Moe, and Bill Weber. They average 267 across that front. And they go right to left under center. Bonneau, toss pitch right. West turns the corner, 45, far sideline, and it's chased out bounds at sideline. Let's see if he got chased out past the yard marker at the far side. No, they're going to mark him short. He went out at the 38, so he's 4 yards short. Second down and 4.
And, Jimmy, we saw that 43-yard field goal in a minute. That's a common occurrence lately. Coppell had one last week in the rain. Well, Flower Mound had one, a 42-yarder, in the pouring rain. So we saw virtually 3 43-yard field goals in the last week.
2nd and 4, 2 backs on either side of Bonneau. Slot left, receiver left. On the 2nd and 4 situation, West has it. He stiff arms, cuts the corner, has first down yardage, and is shoved out at the far side at the 28-yard line. Doing the shoving for the Marcus Marauders was Aston Eashley, the junior defensive back. First down, and the first Coppell first down of the drive, sponsored by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Reuter DFW, on the web at mrreuterdfw.com. 7:36 to play here in the first quarter. Coppell trails 3-0, but they're threatening now at the 31. Ball at the far hash. Coppell's in their all-white uniforms, kind of grayish tops with the white bottoms. Good-looking uniforms, white hats. Bonneau under center. Toss pitch now to West. West goes around the right side, and he is stopped. Boy, the left side of that defensive line stops him. Let's see if he even gained any yards. He might have knocked him back a yard. No, I think he'll pick up one, if anything. Doesn't pick up anything. I was right the first time in.
Yeah. That Marcus defense, and they are known for that, shoring it up there and making a stop for no gain that time. Each team has had some success on the ground early, but Marcus, this year anyway, known for those low-scoring defensive struggles.
Right. Mm-hmm. They won last week, snapping a 5-game losing skid, beating Louisville 13-6. Under 7 to play, first quarter, 3-0 Marauders. Bonneau under center, splits receiver to the left, I formation, fake handoff. Schuyler drops, throws from the 40. Oh, a little too high at the 23-yard line, and going out right underneath us at that 23 was Josh Fink. Good defense employed in the secondary by the Marauders.
Yeah, Marauder D in the secondary at that time, probably causing Bonneau to air that pass a little bit high for Fink, not able to come down with it. So we've got a 3rd and long situation here, Jimmy.
Cameron Hupfer, the sophomore cornerback, they're young on that defense and offense. So it's 3rd down 11. Crowd comes to their feet here at Marauder Stadium. 2 wides near side, 1 slot to the left, a back to the left of Bonneau. And he throws out of the backfield. Flag comes down, and it's off the fingertips of Charles West. But that play was not to be had anyway, as we have the head linesman Brett Little talking to referee Ty Mitchell now. Let's see what the call is. So it's offside against Marcus. They were encroaching. They were in the neutral zone.
That's all the penalties we've seen here tonight so far in the early going, just a couple of offsides, one on each team.
So that will have the yardage. Actually, they'll have it 5 yards. It was 3rd and 11, so it's 3rd and 6, 6:40 to play, first quarter. Coppell trails 3-0. I formation. As they jumped it, Marcus and the right guard, the strong guard, Roger Moe, all 6'1", 280 pounds of them, fell back. So let's see if they encroached again, did the Marauders.
Well, I say, we've seen very few penalties, and all of a sudden back-to-back plays we get them. We had a stretch of that last week. Jason and I did, Jimmy, on the game. It was going along pretty smoothly, and then for about a stretch of 5 out of 6 plays, the officials threw flags. I think it was a different crew than this one.
Yeah, I told referee Ty Mitchell, who's making the call now, again offside, and that's again whistled for the second straight play to the black and silver clad Marauders. I told referee Ty Mitchell, I says, I'd like to have one of your sheets. I give you guys your props. You're underrated like offensive linemen. So doing a great job are the officials of every game. I think, from high school to college to pros. So
it's a tough job.
It is a very tough job. So that makes it now, was 3rd and 11 after 2 consecutive encroachment penalties, offside penalties against Marcus, makes it 3rd and 1 from the 22 of Marcus, who leads the Cowboys now 3-0. 3rd and 1, Bonneau's just going to plow forward. Schuyler gets it as he bulls his way inside the 20-yard line and went right into the center of that defense, but Schuyler's 5'11", 190-pounder just put his head down and got the first down.
Yeah, big Jeremy Robinson, the defensive lineman there, trying to keep him from churning for any more. And, one way to go from 3rd and long to 3rd and just 1 is a couple of offsides calls.
Clock ticking down there quickly after a huddle under center in the I formation. Bonneau toss pitch coming left. It is Charles West, cuts back, jukes, gets inside the 10 with a nice gain of at least 12 yards, gets the first down before he's clipped by the nose tackle. Jeremy Robinson was out there to get him, and the secondary guys came up to take him down. But it's first and goal from the 9 for the Cowboys.
Great seal block by Blake Mayon out on the edge out there at about the 15, allowing West to get that extra 6 to 8 yards and get inside the 10.
We promised a speedy first quarter, and we weren't lying.
It's zipping along.
Yeah, halfway through as we are at the 6-minute mark. Beno goes under center now, I formation, split left and right receivers. Kind of a short snap, he rolls right, Skyler throws, end zone, and all alone and walking in is Josh Fink. He just caught it, turned around, and took it in from 9 yards out off the right arm of the junior quarterback, Skyler Beno. So Josh Fink with his second touchdown grab of the season, and he puts Coppell up now 6-3 at 5:45 to play here in the first quarter. Nice pass.
Yeah, and real easy-looking play, Jimmy. I mean, he rolled out there, and Fink was all alone in the corner of the end zone by himself.
So Adam Centers, the senior place kicker. Oh, bad snap. Center picks it up as it went through the midst of the holder. Centers looks like Gary O'Yepremian in the Super Bowl back in the 70s. The snap just went through Deion Foster, the wide receiver, it was a bad snap. Deion couldn't come up with it, so they fail on the extra point. They tried for 2 there, but it was an ill-fated throw. 6-3 our score. Coppell leads Marcus. 5:45 to play in the first quarter. We'll return to Flower Mound. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys Football and Champion Sports Radio.
High school seniors, achieving excellence goes beyond top grades, and AXA wants your help in recognizing them. Up to 12 DFW area students will receive a $2,000 AXA Achievement Community Scholarship, and one senior in Texas will receive a scholarship worth up to $25,000. Do you know a local high school senior who has excelled at a job, sport, community project, or other extracurricular activity? They may be eligible for an AXA Achievement Community Scholarship. For more details, contact Thomas Lee at AXA Advisors, 972-455-9114.
Are you studying on your own for the SAT or ACT? Follow My Test Answers on Twitter and Facebook for free solutions to official test questions. Got a question of your own? Send a message to My Test Answers and get a response for free. Got more than one question? Don't worry, we'll answer those too. With over a decade of experience in helping students prepare for standard, the experts answers the answer you needed. My Test Answers, problems solved.
Adam sent 9 yards deep into the end zone. Doing the toe dance at that point was the return man. He was trying for the life of him to keep his balance, but he fielded it, and Tyler Bell, the sophomore, I don't know what difference it made anyway. He was like balanced there on the end line. It was 9 yards deep. Good kickoff by Centers. It comes out to the 25. 5:45 to play first quarter. Coppell with a 6-3 lead over the Marauders in this 5-5A game between the two clubs. Coppell 5-1, 2-0 in the district. Marcus 2-5. They're 1-1 in the district.
You know, that 9-yard TD pass, Jimmy, culminated in a 2-minute 13 5-play drive for Coppell.
Sophomore quarterback Andrew Parrish from the 25, hands to the left side, and 1, maybe 2 yards off the left side goes Suzuki, and he is belted down by who other than Solomon Thomas, the Mr. All-World Everything defensive end for Coppell.
He is definitely that. We even saw him in action as a fullback last week. He burrowed it to about the half-yard line, then they let West plunge it in after that.
Mike DeWitt, the defensive coordinator, at his second 8 for Coppell, the defensive coordinator, and handoff straight into the gut, maybe a couple, if that, maybe a yard as they ran it straight into the pack again, and this time the ball carrier for the Marcus Marauders. They're switching running backs around on us. I believe I don't have a 43 on my roster.
I don't. As I look for him, I don't see him. But
check my roster here. The one that they sent us, the one that they gave us in the booth, is incorrect. It's CJ Respass. So on a 3rd and 8, Parrish throws to the near side, and it's complete to Blake Bowling, and that's going to be short of a first down. 4:31 left here in the first quarter. The Marauders trailing the Cowboys 6-3.
Well, now they're I thought they were saying he's out. They said he's out after that. I thought he caught it at first. He signaled he pulled it in.
Yeah,
and
that's
then he signaled like this, so like he's being pulled out. So
incomplete.
Yeah,
my mistake. I was just following what the line
not
judge
really.
said.
You saw it at first when he signaled, and then the second part was like part two, and he was slightly out.
So a punting situation, and running side saddle and kicking it off to the right side.
And that may have hit.
Ooh, it did. And Parker picks it up and goes out to the 41-yard line. Boy, that was almost a disaster. But pretty good field position for the Cowboys.
That just about hit. Well, I think it did hit the special team player Jacob Murray back there, who was trying to block his man and get set up for the return. But, you see some of that these days. Guys just aren't quite careful enough, or there's not communication with a return man and their blocker, like the ball's coming. You got to yell fire or some kind of code word to get out of the way. And Murray not able to do that, but Parker able to field the punt off his deflection.
So Parker with the fielding of that punt to the 41. Now good field position for the Cowboys. They lead at 6-3, 4:20 to play here in the first quarter. I formation, 1-2-3 with the up man. Now the first man behind Skylar Bonneau is under center. Toss pitch to Charles Westboy. He's quick, and he gets those quick feed out to the 45-yard line. He'll pick up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. He's gang tackled and getting up off the bottom of the stack. And the tackle made by Ashton Easley again, the junior defensive back.
Pretty good-sized line for Marcus up front, and then they sometimes run a 5-2 or a 4-3, kind of morph back and forth, or at least they have over the past several games. They've got basically 5 down linemen here and 2 in the right behind them, the backers.
2nd 6, near hash from the 45, 2 wides right, but no at the back to each side of him, and throws complete into Marcus territory, going to the 44. Ball comes loose, but the whistle had blown to Josh Fink, and 1, 2, 3, 4 black shirts, I count, around him. Travis Perry and also Sam Morris were leading the hit, but then the reinforcements came pretty quick.
Yeah, and it took all of them to stop his progress, and then one of them tried to strip the ball out. Of course, the whistle had blown, and he'd been pushed back a good 4 to 5 yards after that anyway. But a good play on 2nd down, that out pattern and curl.
First down of this drive, sponsored by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Reuter DFW, on the web at mrreuterdfw.com. So they have it 1st and 10 from the 44, and we have a whistle timeout. 3:10 to play here in the first quarter. Timeout on the field, whistle to the Marauders. 6-3, Coppell leads Marcus. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShopboxDFW.com today. ShopboxDFW.com.
1st and 10 from the Marauder 44. Bonneau toss pitch left side, and coming around and getting popped was Rice. Brandon Rice, who had a big game last week in the blowout win over Flower Mound. He gets it to the 38, a pickup of 6. Making that 7, it'll be 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, we had seen Brandon Rice sparingly until last week. They kind of started him early. He got their first couple of touchdowns, and they got him a hat trick later in the game. But 3 of the 5 rushing touchdowns were by him, and he only had 6 or 8 carries, but he averaged 9 yards a pop, Jimmy.
So we wind down to 2.5 to play in the first quarter. Coppell up 6-3. Seaver left. Under center with a power eye to the right. Beno fades and throws to West. He comes back and gets it at 43, and then he slipped but maintained his balance, and he goes to the 38-yard line. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and a good defensive play made by the middle linebacker, Sam Morris, and he also had help from Trevor Costello, the linebacker, so didn't gain anything. It's 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and Christian Schaefer in on that tackle too. And that's the thing, is that it was a really well-designed play, Jimmy, but the screen pass hung up so long he almost had a signal for a fair catch, and he couldn't get any running room after that. They all converged on him so quickly.
So $1:52 to play in the first. Marcus crowd on its feet in the 3rd and 3. It's the I formation with the receiver to the right. And Brandon Rice goes shuffling to his right, toss pitch right to Charles West, and he slams the ball in disgust at the 37. He had to get to the 35. He gains 1. He's short. It is 4th down and 2.
Well, that was a one-on-one battle, Jimmy, that time with Cameron Hupfer, the sophomore defensive back, and Charles West. He got the pitch out late, and you thought with a triple I backfield there, he might have some lead blocking, but they all went up the middle, and he went to the outside, and the defensive back, if he didn't break that tackle, he was going to be down for a short gain.
Parker Wilson, the fullback, leaves the fray. It is 4th and 3. They mark him no gain on that, and now we have Fink running from the right to the left. Backs on either side of Beno in the shotgun formation, and he hands off to Charles West, and Charles West gets STUFFD'd back to the 45. It was Christian Schaefer and Scotty Alms making the tackle. So good defense. Boy, we were talking about it, Barry, at the beginning of the game. They had a tough physical defense, and they showed it, especially on that play and on that drive.
Yeah, 2 wideouts wide to the right, and then Fink coming in motion to the left, and they handed the ball to West in the backfield with split backs really deep in the backfield, but Marcus got such great penetration, those two, Alms and Schaefer, that West had nowhere to go, so it resulted in a big loss and a turnover on downs.
So the Cowboys cough it up, and Marcus now going left to right in their black and silver uniforms with the pink shoes. 1st and 10 from their 42. Parrish quickly the line, handoff left side. Hopkins gets outside the numbers, and he goes to the 44-yard line, picks up a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8, and he is surrounded by Cowboys on defense on the right side. They hold those big cards up for the play to a sophomore quarterback. Let me call him a freshman. He's a sophomore, Andrew Parrish. He runs to the line quickly now as a back behind him. 2 receivers split. He's got a good-looking arm, and he shows it there. He fires a bullet, but it's incomplete off the left side, intended for Jack Cushing.
Yeah, and this Flower Mound Marcus offense, even though they haven't been all that much potent this year, been a lot more so than Flower Mound, the Jaguars we saw last week, who could get very little going. And the rain didn't help when it started falling for a period of minutes, but they had a little bit of and quarterback got hurt, and the wideout, Connor, had to take over his QB, excuse me.
And it's 3rd and 8. Here comes Heat, and was he out of the box? Cowboys want intentional grounding, and boy, the heat was coming. Chris Biggers, the nose tackle, coming in a hurry, and they just forced the young quarterback to throw it. It's incomplete. It'll be 4th and 8.
Yeah, Biggers and Collins Akoshka were just breathing down Andrew Parrish's neck, and that was a very quick 3-and-out, Jimmy. The defense rose up again for each team. A 41-second possession for Marcus that time, nothing doing.
12 seconds left in the first quarter clock. 6-3, Coppell with the lead. And we see punter Blake Cawson. He stands at his 30, takes a low snap. He picks it off with one bounce, and he boots a little whirly-bird kick, bounces at the 31, and Cowboys will just let it roll and be downed at the 20-yard line. So for the first time tonight, the Cowboys don't have that good a field position. They started at, the 48 of Marcus, and then their own 41. They'll begin this drive at their own 21 with 1 second left in the first quarter.
Yeah, and Jimmy, one thing that worries me a little bit on this punt is the punter's kicking kind of rugby style, and so he's getting that, low kick on the roll. And Jacob Murray and Collins Akochka that time were running with their backs to it, and they nearly got hit again. Murray got hit the punt before that. So, they're playing good D, but I'm wondering if Marcus is not employing the strategy to try to hit it off one of these guys not paying attention and, just get a free 50 yards downfield.
That'd probably be a pretty good strategy. especially with the young quarterback. And like you said earlier, they're not want to score a lot of points, 13.1 on their offense. And Skyler Bonneau tosses right to Gavin McDaniel. Look at him go down the far sideline, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, and he's going to get shoved out at the 16-yard line. Doing the shove out and making the touchdown-saving tackle was Ashton Eastley. So it was 21, so that's 29, and it goes to the 16-yard line. 55-yard scoot. Nice run by Mr. McDaniel.
It sure was.
Ooh.
On the last play of the first quarter, we'd seen kind of no offensive fireworks until the very last play of the quarter, Jimmy.
That'll wrap up the first frame. We'll get into the second 12. Coppell leading Marcus after one quarter, 6-3. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
Home life insurance needs plus personal customer service right when you need it most. Call agent Josh Workman at 972-317-9630, extension 58782. Since 1912, we here at Liberty Mutual have been helping people live safer, more secure lives. Insurance from a company as responsible as you are. Go Cowboys.
Back at Marauder Stadium in Flower Mound, Texas. Cowboys leading at 6-3. That big run, the first Coppell first down of the drive, was sponsored by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Reuter DFW on the web at mrreuterdfw.com. So Coppell and Marcus playing kind of what we thought, Barry Probst. 6-3 game. Field goal was the first score of the game by Marcus, and the Cowboys had a touchdown. They failed on the extra point.
That one play there that was a 55-yard run was the biggest one we've seen all night, and about the height of the offense we've seen tonight in large part.
So the Cowboys have it near hash, 1st and 16 at the Marcus, 1st and 10, I should say, at the Marcus 16. Two wides left, I formation behind Skyler Bonneau. Toss pitch left to Rice. He fakes the end around. He's stiff arms, gets around the corner, and his shoulder pad pops out as he goes out at the 14-yard line. And running him out of bounds for Marcus was Cameron Hupfer again, the sophomore defensive back. We've been calling his number a number of times tonight.
We sure have. He was giving chase, and Rice almost broke the tackle. Looked like he was going to try to get back to his familiar territory of trotting into the end zone like he did so much last week.
So he picks up 3, did Rice, to the 13, ball at the far hash. To the ball first is Seth Margolis, a 6'1", 5-pound senior. Skyler Bonneau looks to the far side to Michael Odell, the offensive coordinator, man in motion on the I formation. He goes slot right, and two receivers split to the right. Toss pitch right, and here comes Rice again, breaking a tackle. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hang 6 for the Coppell Cowboys at 11:42 here in the second period. And a scoot of 13 yards by Mr. Brandon Rice. So another touchdown for the backup to the backup running back.
And Jimmy, strange. Technically a 19-second drive, 3 plays. Goes for pay dirt.
See if the Cowboys can convert now. Last time it went through Deion Foster, the holder's hands. Back it comes, and it's on the way, and looks good from here, and it is. Adam Centers boots it through and true. So 11:42 to play here in the first half. Cowboys up their lead now to Marcus, 13-3. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
For your child. While you want your child to be healthy and to enjoy participating in sports, you may also have concerns about their abilities and possible injuries. This is where Velocity Sports Performance can help. Whether your child wants to be the star of the team or just wants a little more playing time, Velocity Sports Performance can help your young athletes reach their goals. Visit their Coppell location at 801 Hammond Street near Bethel Road and Freeport Parkway, or visit them online at velocitysp.com. Become a better athlete today at Velocity Sports Performance.
Make plans for just about everything. The weekend, vacation, going out to dinner. But have you created a plan for the rest of your life? Start your financial strategy today with AXA Advisors. Call Thomas Lee at 972-455-5555 9114. That's 972-455-9114. Securities offered through Axe Advisors, LLC, 212-314-4600. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Beautiful night. It was 69 degrees at kickoff. A few wispy clouds, but clear and dry tonight. Nice fall night this last Friday of October as the Cowboys lead Marcus in this 5-5A game 13-3. Was scored on a Brandon Rice 13-yard run. And Adam Centers boots it off, and it's going to be taken at the 3-yard line to the 10, and getting into scrum out to the 18-yard line. And so Centers, not that much of a win. The last time he booted it through the end zone. This time it came down to Brian Suzuki, the fullback, inside the 10, and they get it out to the 18-yard line. That's where Marcus Marauders will put it in play. They trail 13-3, 11:36 just underway here in the second quarter.
Relatively free of penalties is this game so far. Only 2 for Marcus, 1 for Coppell. And Jimmy, we said in the pregame show that, you know, if you could get Marcus to make some mistakes, one of the few they made was letting the long run get busted by West there before the quarter.
Parrish hands off to his running back off the right side. I believe that was Alex Albright. And gains a couple. And he actually loses 1. They mark him back to the 17. Boy, good defense by this Coppell front 7. And the back 4, they're under the guidance of defensive coordinator Mike DeWitt. So it's 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1. Under center quickly is Andrew Parrish, I should say. He rolls right, throws complete out to the 23-yard line. And on the grab was C.J. Respass, and he's short of the first down as he gets bottled up. Solomon Thomas out there to track him down, and he also had help on the tackle by Bo Anderson, the inside backer.
Solomon Thomas got moved to the interior of the line on that play. He was playing left tackle, defensive tackle on the left side that time instead of his normal defensive end position that we've seen him at most of the time. But, that's a big guy to block, and he takes up a couple of blockers is the thought there.
Pickup of 10, it's 3rd and 1. Parrish with the handoff straight into the gut, and no, sir, I don't think he got it at the far hash. I don't think he got that. Alex Albright with the run again. No, he's short. They have the sticks dropped. They're ready to carry the sticks. The crowd anticipates the sticks going down and being moved, so he did get it. First down, Marauders.
Killian Bresnahan was politicking for the other way on that right away. He's like, no, he didn't get that.
Yeah, I don't think he did, but that's why I'm up here, and Ty Mitchell and his crew are down there wearing the striped shirts. They'll split Jack Cushing out now to the right side on the 1st and 10. They're 28. 13-3 Coppell with the lead. 10 minutes to play here in the second quarter. And the handoff from Parrish goes left out to the, maybe lost a yard as he had to get to the 28 back to the line of scrimmage and getting popped.
He did lose a yard officially there, Jimmy. He backed him up some.
It was Albright again. His number is crunched up. Pull down your shirt in the front. Okay, he's got. I'm glad we have him on the sides. They have nice-looking uniforms. They usually have the Ohio State crimson, red, and silver, but they have the black uniforms on tonight. Parrish quickly to the line. He throws right. He completes a diving catch for first down yardage to the 39-yard line. It's complete to C.J. Respass, the sophomore running back, out of the backfield, and he gains out to the 30. Out to the 41-yard line, so pick up a 14.
So Marcus, was in danger of falling further behind here as it's 13-3 right now. Coppell have put together 2 quick scoring drives, and they got to make something go here, does Marcus, to stay in it. 1st and 10 from the 41, and Parrish handed off. He wished he would have because Troy Parker came on the corner blitz, and he decks him back at the 32, a loss of 9 yards. And, man, that's Troy Parker quick from his right cornerback position. He was blitzing through. The 5'9", 165-pound senior nails him a quarterback. Yeah, Parrish thought he had the bootleg. Everybody fooled on it, and he looks up, and there's Troy Parker face-to-face right now.
and that he did. 2nd and 19 on the loss of 9. Parrish with the fake handoff throws a bullet, and it's through the hands of the much-touted sophomore Caden Smith. Crowd wanted a complete to Trespass, who was running following the play, respite, I should say, but they don't get it. It's incomplete. 3rd down and 19.
Yeah, almost picked there, too.
Yeah.
That one thrown behind Caden Smith.
Of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
I'm Jimmy the St. Christopher. Next to me is Barry Probst. We are at Marauder Stadium in Flower Mound, Texas. This 5-5A game between the Marauders and the Cowboys. Cowboys with a 13-3 lead. They have it 4th and 1 from the 20. Toss pitch to Brandon Rice, and he just smashes into the first line of contact and puts a landing gear down inside the 15, picks up 6, gets a first down, and we're under 2 to play here in the first quarter. Boy, I like him, and not to mention they have a 3-headed monster running back attack now with Charles West, and then McDaniel, Gavin, I want to call Cam, and Brandon Rice.
Yeah, Gavin McDaniel, Brandon Rice, just, it never lets up for the Marauder defense.
Beno under center with an I formation, 2 receivers split to the left, 2 tight ends as well, and he fakes a handoff. He's in trouble, runs away from Heath, fires across his body, and running parallel at the 3-yard line was Josh Fink, and it goes incomplete. So Fink caught that 9-yard score earlier. That wouldn't have been a score. It would have been close to, it would have been a first down if we would have caught it at the 3 because they have to get to the 5, but falls incomplete at 2nd and 10.
Flag down 2 on that play, Jimmy. As Beno running for his life, reversing field all over the place.
Yeah, he was going every which way but loose. See what referee Ty Mitchell has to say. He's talking to Brian Irwin. He's an eligible receiver on the Cowboys. It was incomplete, so it's declined. All right, then. So the Cowboys will approach with $1.50 to play here in the first half, trying to add to that 13-3 lead. Scored on the 9-yard scoring strike from Beno to Fink in the first quarter. And then in the second frame, a 13-yard touchdown run by Brandon Rice. Backs to the either side of Beno. He drops back with the 2nd and 10 from the 14. Throws to the end zone as a jump ball. And a flag comes down now from the back judge, and they're going to get probably Cameron Hupfner or Travis Perry.
Yeah, both were back there defending.
And Hupfner didn't turn around for the ball as it was intended on the far side for Fink in the end zone, or Fink there in the end zone. And it was incomplete, but it's going to be, as you can tell by the reaction of the Marauder crowd, it's going to be pass interference. It'll be automatic first down as Brian Irwin is ticked.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
he's
out there giving Ty Mitchell a
it looked to me like a good, clean play, but I couldn't tell there. But the flag came in, and Coppell will benefit from it for sure.
And the line judge didn't drop the flag. The back judge did.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the personal foul, pass interference call.
Justin Pierce with a little bit different opinion than Barry Chapman.
So it's 1st and goal from the 2 now for the Cowboys. Ranked 5th in the Sports Day area poll. And they are 3 points ranked 12th in the state AP poll. So 1st and goal, under center Beno, I formation. Handoff Brandon Rice. Brandon Rice straight into the stack, and he just refuses to go down. His body was headed down, but his rear end was still in the air. And they finally clamped him down, but he picks up a yard. It'll be 2nd and goal. And that front line, Jeremy Robinson, 6', 275. He's built like a bowling ball.
Yeah, sure is. Well, Coppell with just over a minute to play and banging at the door. Maybe going to increase this lead, possibly up to 17, Jimmy.
Yep. They lead it by 10. Clock moving down to 45 seconds. Full house backfield, two tights, Bonneau under center. Hand off to Rice. He does the extended dive, and he gets into the end zone with 39 seconds left. So Brandon Rice continues his touchdown making from last week, this time with a 1-yard plunge, and he just flew like Superman, had the ball extended, and with that extension, he was 3 yards deep in the end zone because he was flying like a missile.
So that one, Jimmy, 88 yards on that drive.
Yep.
Goes Coppell on, covered over 11 plays.
So Adams Centers sticks it through on the extra point. So the Coppell Cowboys do up their lead to 17 points. It's now 23 Cowboys over the Marauders. You're listening to Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
By switching to Liberty Mutual? Plus, you'll get 24/7 claims assistance, convenient payment options, and personal service right when you need it most. Contact Josh Workman, 972-317-9630, extension 58782 for a free, no-obligations quote. Go Cowboys!
Well, we just saw the Cowboys go 80 yards in a nice drive. It was culminated by the second touchdown run of the night. He called this one a dive. He went flying through the air like Superman did Brandon Rice for his second TD. 1 yard out. Extra point was good by Adam Center. So it's 23 Coppell now, just 39 seconds to play.
And 88, give him that extra he started at their own 12.
Yep. And 80, that's right. I said 80. But yeah, that's right. They started at 12, so 88.
But milk that clock, Jimmy. They did almost 4 minutes on that drive.
Centers to boot it off. Adam gets a toe into it. Good-looking kick, end over end. It's going to drive 5 yards deep in the end zone. And coming out, I thought I saw a ball squirting out, but it's Alex Albright bringing it out just shy of the 15. So 15-yard return, 34 seconds to work with here for Marcus. They have one timeout left here in the first half. They're down 20-3 in this 5-5A contest from Marauder Stadium the last Friday in Rocktober. That's my old rock programming back then. We used to do promotions around October, which is Rocktober, and then Rollvember was November.
Oh, okay, very good. The tough call too, we ought to say, for Marcus on that play, that pass interference in the end zone, because they'd been playing some good D, and they thought they had played good D on that particular play, and the call did not go their way.
Parrish with a handoff, and Hopkins comes out to just beyond the numbers at the 17-yard line, a pickup of 4, and he's surrounded by a bunch of Cowboys. Elliott Toaster, the linebacker, in on the tackle. After a gain of 4, make it 2nd and 6, 12 seconds. They're just going to let it tick off here, or they're going to try to run one more play. I see a tick off.
Yeah, I think they're just going to take it to the locker room and regroup here, Jimmy. I mean, they had a little bit of adversity. We'll see how they didn't really get a chance to handle it or respond to it here in this half, because Coppell scored right up against the end of the quarter. But we'll see what Brian Irwin, what message he gives to them in the locker room and how they come out here. Temperature's dropping too, Jimmy. It was 68 when we started, and it's down to 60 now, so it's a cool, crisp Rocktober night.
It is a Rocktober night. Thank you, Weatherman Barry. The Velocity Sports Performance halftime show is underway. This Velocity Sports Performance can help your young athletes reach their goals. Visit their Coppell location, 801 Hammond Street near Bethel Road and Freeport Parkway, or visit them online at velocitysp.com. Become a better athlete today at Velocity Sports Performance.
And Jimmy, you care to take a guess on how Nate Hopkins has done through the night for Marcus, the running back?
Okay, and I'm not looking. Let me guess before I do the recap here. 8 carries, 70 yards.
11 for 47.
Okay,
about 4 a pop, and I was
okay.
a little over 4 a pop, and I was thinking about 4 a pop, and I really didn't know until I looked. But, for a guy coming in to have 98 yards of the season and get nearly half of that here in the half, pretty good effort by him and a good, bright future and inspiring, auspicious sign for Brian Irwin and his Marauder team.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Marauders in their black Raider-like uniforms with the silver pants and silver helmets have not been able to cross the goal line. They kicked a 43-yard field goal by John Coppens with 7:58 to play in the first quarter, and they had the 3-0 lead. Then Cowboys came back on a short field drive. Bonneau hit Fink in the end zone for a 9-yard scoring strike, and that would have been Tyler Bonneau's 6th touchdown pass of the season. And then came the second quarter. It was another short field drive. I believe a short field drive. Wasn't it a 13-yard scoring run by Brandon Rice? And how many touchdowns did he have last week? 3. So he has 5 tonight, with the first one there in the second quarter, made it his 4th touchdown. And then his 5th touchdown of the evening came just moments ago, 39 seconds left in the first half. He dove through the air. Extra points were good on both of those. Cowboys did miss an extra point on the first touchdown when the snap came through Deion Foster's hands, and Adam Centers tried to do that Gary Oyapremian run for his life, and I'm not a quarterback, but I'm going to try to throw it. And it was incomplete. It looked kind of funny. I'm not making fun of him, but he
not a bad effort. Not a bad effort, because he almost connected with someone back there. We'll probably break this down more at the Velocity halftime report, in more granular fashion. But we'll probably peel back the curtain and see that Marcus has not had many long possessions. They've had a lot of 3-and-outs, 4-and-outs. That's kind of been their downfall tonight. They haven't been able to keep the ball, keep possession of the ball, and control any clock like they like to do. And conversely, they let Coppell get a couple of scores up. So if they had maintained maybe a 6-3 deficit, that'd be more like Marcus ball, like they're used to and what they are comfortable with. But down 20-3, they got some doing to do, as an old coach used to say.
What coach said that? I like that saying. I've never heard that one before.
Spike Dykes used to say that a lot.
Okay, doing the do.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I like that. I'm going to have to use that. Thanks, Barry Pro.
Sure.
He's a weatherman. He's a quote machine from old coaches. And the Coppell band now is on the field with the cheer team. We'll catch up with them. That'll be part of our Velocity Sports Performance halftime show. So let's grab a break, come back and listen to the band with Coppell leading at half 20-3 over Marcus. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
For some high school seniors, achieving excellence goes beyond top grades, and AXA wants your help in recognizing them. Up to 12 DFW area students will receive a $2,000 AXA Achievement Community Scholarship, and one senior in Texas will receive a scholarship worth up to $25,000. Do you know a local high school senior who has excelled at a job, sport, community project, or other extracurricular activity? They may be eligible for an AXA Achievement Community Scholarship. For more details, contact Thomas Lee at AXA Advisors, 972-455-9114. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
Since 1912, Liberty Mutual has been helping people live safer, more secure lives. For all your auto, home, life insurance needs, plus personal customer service right when you need it most, call Agent Josh Workman at 972-317-9630, extension 58782. Responsibility. What's your policy? Go Cowboys.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
It's halftime here at Marcus Marauder Stadium on a beautiful last Friday of October with Coppell leading Marauders 20-3. I'm Jimmy DeSaint Christopher next to Barry Probst, and we're enjoying the Coppell band. Boy, they look great, don't they?
They do. That is
Man,
a great high school band.
It
Both
is
of
a
them
wonderful
are,
band.
Marcus's band and Coppell's both really good.
And look at the gowns on the women. They have like a red gown, and they're doing. We were saying before, Barry, and this is the last Friday before Halloween, which is Thursday. So this is the Coppell Band Halloween show, and this is a nice presentation, marvelous presentation. And the women, I want to say there's 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, about a dozen in a circle around the band. I can't see what they have spelled out. I'm trying to figure out what the band is spelled out. And then there's another dozen or so women in the circle to the right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they have the orange, they have masks on, and they have orange, looks like a Coppell and C with a Halloween type C. And they have the purple flags that they're waving around that have that orange.
Kind of looks
and
like
black.
the pattern they're making with the band with the
Coppell?
design, the emblem insignia on their dress.
Right.
Kind of looks like the pattern they're forging here out on the field right now.
And it's very Halloweenish. Boy, those gowns are amazing on those women. Great. We're enjoying it. Coppell's enjoying a 20-3 halftime lead. You want to update the scoreboard?
Sure.
Do I have time to run out? And do you want a treat? One of those nice-looking treats we saw.
That sounds good. You know, Salerno's, God bless them for
I
getting
know.
up here and
absolutely.
Giving us some goodies.
Got some good pasta, and I'm going to go nail some of those desserts.
Knock yourself out there, Jimmy. Well, we got a lot of action going on around the area tonight, and including this one where Coppell leads Flower Mound Marcus 20-3 at half. Elsewhere in 3-5A, you've got Arlington Lamar on top of Arlington Martin 27-13 in the second quarter. Weatherford is hosting North Crowley tonight. We don't have a score update on that one yet. Fort Worth Pascal is at Arlington. And the other game in 3-5A, Arlington Sam Houston trailing Bowie right before halftime 42-14. Over in 4-5A, Richland leads Keller Central, trails them 7-0. Haltom on the short end of a 20-6 score against Keller Fossil Ridge, and South Lake Carroll with a modest 24-14 lead over Keller in the second quarter. Elsewhere in 5-5A, Hebron with a 28-17 lead over the Flower Mound Jaguars, who are finally showing some offensive spark after the last couple of weeks where they've had only a dearth of offense, if that. Denton Ryan whitewashing Louisville over at the C.H. Collins Athletic Complex tonight, 23-0, and that's not halftime yet. And here we've got Coppell up on Marcus 20-3. In 6-5A, Irving MacArthur trails L.D. Bell 17-0. It's Irving over R.L. Turner 20-3, much like this score at halftime. Euless Trinity bombing Grapevine right before half, 42-6. 7-5A, Midlothian doubling up South Grand Prairie, 14-7. That one in the late stages of the second quarter. And elsewhere in that district, along with those two teams, you've got Irving Nimitz and Colleyville Heritage doing battle tonight as well. Excuse me, that's 6-5A. 7-5A, you've got, Mansfield Timberview trailing Cedar Hill 30-6 at half. Mansfield ahead of Grand Prairie 14-7 in the second quarter. DeSoto all over Duncanville 35-15 in quarter number 2. Moving to 9-5A, Richardson trails Skyline at half 48-3. That one getting ugly. Jesuit ahead of the Pierce Mustangs 35-10, and Bertner hosting W.T. White tonight. Don't have a score so far in that one. We'll try to get you updated on them. Plano East trailing Plano at halftime 35-0 in the second quarter. Allen ahead of McKinney Boyd just 21-7 in the second quarter. I say just 21-7 because that is a low margin for those Allen Eagles up at Eagle Stadium. Garland ahead of South Garland in 11-5A action, 14-7, and North Garland taking on Lakeview Centennial tonight. In 12-5A, Longview leads North Mesquite 27-3 in the second quarter, and Rockwall Heath ahead of Mesquite Horn. Kind of a shocker there, 16-3 in the second. Moving to 4A, in 5-4A, Lake Dallas trails Wichita Falls 21-0. Denton with a 14-7 lead over Azle. That one in the third quarter as well. And we'll let you listen to a little bit of the Flower Mound Marcus Band here for just a moment. Welcome back to Marauders Stadium in Flower Mound. Along with Jimmy the St. Christopher, I'm Barry Probst. It's halftime here at Marcus's Palatial Stadium. And Marcus on the short end tonight against Coppell, 20-3 our score in this one. And we're going to break down some of the numbers for you from this. We were talking about moments ago of what's going on in this game specifically. And before we went to the break, Hopkins, the Flower Mound Marcus tailback, who had 47 into the season, almost 100. He's almost got 50, roughly half of that. And we are going to see what the rest of these guys have. If we can get the page to load and bring us all the total yardage halftime, Jimmy, between Coppell and Marcus. Coppell with a big edge of 226-73. And we said that we'd probably look down to this and probe a little bit deeper and find out that Marcus just simply hadn't had the ball much in terms of the number of plays. And when they had it, it had been really tough sledding for them. They hadn't been able to get anything going on the ground. They like to play ground control ball and run the game that way, but they hadn't been able to do it more. They'd have a lot of 3-and-outs or maybe an occasional 4-and-out, but not much other than that. And we will look at some of those numbers here now. Brandon Rice having a great game again tonight for Coppell. He's got a touchdown again, second game in a row he scored. He scored in 3 of the last 4 Coppell games. And Coppell with a 5-1 record looking to make it even more tonight if they can hang on. And along with Coppell having 26-78 rather in total yards, they have an 11 to in first and on the ground yards on 22 carries versus Marcus's 40 on 7-8. Hot amount is for the Hopkins has 11 carries tonight. So Albright held in check, 4 carries, 5 yards, and Brian Shishnevsky 1 carry for 4 yards. Passing yards, even Coppell has a big edge on that, and that was thanks to a big, long 42-yard pass early in the game. Skylar Bonneau's completed 5 of 7 for 70 yards. Very efficient, very productive. 10 yards, a pass attempt for him. Meanwhile, Andrew Parrish, he has looked good in play action and squaring up in the pocket and even rolling out to throw. He's got a good, strong, lively arm, but he has just not been on the mark tonight. 3 of 12 for a paltry 31 yards through the air. So, total 47 on the ground. Not Coppell team really good on defense. Neither to turnover tonight, although Coppell nearly had muffed punt. Jimmy, I've had some trouble. They muffed a punt, and then they had one deflect on punt return. Murray and Collins Zakachka almost got hit by a rolling rugby punt. So that's been one of the unsung weapons, if you will, for Marcus tonight is the rugby punt, because it's almost resulted in 2 turnovers by the Coppell Cowboys. Now, looking at the Cowboys specifically, along with Bonneau's 5 of 7 for 70 yards, and Stephen McDaniel has carried it 4 times for 88 yards tonight. Brandon Rice, 8 for 40, 5 yards a pop, and Charles West, 7 for 24. Daniel broke a long one right before quarter, the 55-yard gain, which Coppell Cowboy touchdown. And receiving Josh Fink even with 3 catches for 65 yards tonight, touchdown, 5. And Charles West, probably one of the few things. Coppell had no gain pass to Charles West there, Jimmy. That's what you would think looking at the raw numbers. Marcus receiving, Blake Bowling. Marcus only with 3 receivers, each with a catch. Blake Bowling, 1 for 1. Prizes the totals of the Marcus receiving and rushing. Albright 5, we said, and 1 officially for -9, and that was a sack early in that. For this, the stat ledger here for Coppell and Flower Mound Marcus at the Velocity Halftime Report.
Thank you, Barry. I'm sitting there in here. Okay. No, that's fine. That was a good job of vamping.
Yeah.
The Velocity. Let's go here. The teams still haven't come out. The bands, great shows, as we said, by both bands, Coppell's in particular, and, of course, the Marcus band was was pretty good. Velocity performance can help your young athletes reach their goals. Visit their Coppell location, 801 Hammond Street near Bethel Road and Freeport Parkway, or visit them online, velocitysp.com. Become a better athlete today at Velocity Sport. Gloria and the fine folks there at Salerno, at least Gloria was the lady who cut the pie. I think she works for Marcus, but Salerno's, so they had that pasta. I enjoyed some of that before kickoff, and that little cream puff thing. And you haven't, Scarf, you
did the
deed,
you
good.
while you were doing the dirty work on the field with the interviews.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, we didn't really get to catch up with Brian Irwins yet.
Yeah, we did.
Well, we did have to cut out a little early on it, but recapping what he said, about physicality, did they have it? And he thought they did. And they kind of do, but they've got to really sustain more of these drives, Jimmy, and open up a little bit. 47 yards of rushing all by one guy is not going to get it done for you.
Right. That's true. So do you have some of that chocolate mousse pie?
I haven't. That's the one thing I hadn't gotten into yet.
I got the cream puff, though.
I'm pacing myself.
I know. I was scarfing.
It is. And I remember how hospitable they were with all their goods up here a few years ago when I did Marcus games back in the 2010 season.
And that was the first year they opened this fine stadium, right?
Yeah, we got to christen it, and it was a beautiful thing. And the team was having a really successful year that year too, with Deion Sanders Jr. and Dagan Newsom and some of the running backs they had. They had a really strong running back, a really strong offensive line, and the team lost in the first round of the playoffs. They drew. I want to say they drew Coppell in the first round. They drew a really tough draw round and were eliminated then, but looking to claw back here, and it's a fairly tough district with Coppell in this one, and then Marcus and some of the and Hebron and potentially Flower Mound if they can get it going again.
That's right. So where did they play before they built Marauders Stadium?
I believe they shared
with the Jaguars?
Goldsmith.
That's right, they did play
Stadium,
Goldsmith. Yeah, I was going to say, them and
now
Marcus and Flower Mound.
Yeah, now Louisville pretty much has it to themselves, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. So Flower Mound and Marauders play
Which,
here.
by the way, we'll be at in a few weeks, I think. Next week we return to Coppell for senior night, and then I think 2 weeks away we will be on location up at Goldsmith Stadium, if memory serves correctly.
Against Louisville, you're right, on the 8th, and then the next Friday night is senior night against Denton Ryan. He caught up with Joey Florence. I used to do Ryan games back in the 2000s. Well, ready to get this thing underway, Barry Probst, as the black and silver clad with the pink shoes, celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
And
are the Marcus Marauders.
Speaking of them, Jimmy, on the short end tonight against Denton Ryan, 23-0 as they start the third quarter.
As Coppins boots it off here to start the third quarter, there's Troy Parker taken to the 15, 20, 25, 30, near sideline 50, gets tripped up and does a head over heels dive at the 43-yard line. Otherwise, he's going to go all the way. John Coppins, the kicker, tripped him up. Marcus, the McKinney-Boyd game against Coppell back, the second game of the season, 8-yard return. That wouldn't have been quite as long, but he had another big return tonight into Marcus territory at the 48. This one lands at the 43. So Coppell with real good field position just underway here. And they do three. He'll hand off to West and McDaniel, throwing to Obialo, Mahon and Fink. Gray, Barons, Margolis, Moe, and Weber across the front. Two backs either side. Here's the handoff to Gavin McDaniel. He tried to go right. He gets tripped up after a loss of 3 yards.
3 times tonight, Jimmy. Yeah. McDaniel with a loss of. He has had a great night.
He sure has. What's for the
yards in the first half?
Cowboys 156 rushing the first half. They lose 4, second and 14 far hash, and slide across the line is the man in motion. Here's the pitch to Charles, and boy, this Marcus defense is fired up, and he gets back maybe to line of, maybe won't get back line of scrimmage, and they're fired up. Kristen Schaeffler, a good first defensive back. Somebody had help from defensive lineman Jeremy Robinson, who strung the play out.
Parker Wilson checking out of this play, maybe because it's a passing play partly, but he looked like he had trouble finding someone to block over there. He's running around the left side of the line, and then he's trying to get on a body and open up a lane, but not able to do it.
McDaniel split all the way out right. They have 2 wides each side. Bonneau back, pressure, throws, complete in his own territory to West at the 48. Look at his quick feet. 35, 30, cuts back in, center of the field, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, hangs 6 yard, scoring strike, and he's running around this way and that, and Charles West with the reception, and the Cowboys up their lead to 26-3 with 10:18 to play in the third quarter. Boy.
That's surreal, Jimmy. It looked like it was going to be 3 and out, and then even that screen pass looked like it might not go for more than 5, and then it might. Then he reversed field and got some good lead blocks downfield there at the end to spring him free the last 15 yards.
Adam Centers will tack on the extra point, so a 10:18 to play here in the third quarter. Coppell draws first blood real quick. It's now the Cowboys 27-3 over the Marauders. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
Home game, then head over and check out the best mouth-watering, lip-smacking, finger-licking, great-tasting barbecue there is at Dickey's Barbecue Pit. Whether it's takeout, catering, or dining in, Dickey's Barbecue Pit will deliver some of the best barbecue you've ever had, and be sure to round up the whole family and stop by on Sundays when kids eat free. Dickey's Barbecue Pit is located at 801 South Denton Tap Road, just north of Beltline. Dickey's Barbecue Pit, slow smoked and served fast since 1941.
We're back at Marauder Stadium. Cowboys go quickly in $1:42 here to start the second frame. The first Coppell first down of that drive was sponsored by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Rooter DFW on the web at Mr. Rooter, that is, DFW.com.
Yeah, Jimmy, the first down was actually the touchdown there on that 54-yard screen pass / big catch and run.
As Centers gets a nice leg into it, it's over the head of everybody, and that went about, 70?
Yeah, he continues to crush kicks. Last week, Jimmy, he hit the crossbar on the kickoff. I mean, one of the opening kickoffs. I mean, it's just it really has a great leg, this Adam Centers. And, if you're Brian Irwin, whatever you said in the locker room, are they suddenly deflated after that? I mean, they put up 2 good plays defensively in a row, and then looked like they might have a third. Bonneau was under immense pressure there. We didn't really catalog it, how heavily rushed he was.
Andrew Parrish, a sophomore quarterback who had kind of a off first half, gives the first play for the Marauders, goes straight up the middle. C.J. Rest pass, the sophomore running back, and he garners 4 yards. 2nd and 6 as we work under 10 minutes here in the third frame with Coppell ahead 27-3.
One thing for sure, Jimmy, this does not allow Marcus to play at the pace and style they want to.
And it's a quick handoff. Under center is Parrish, and the helmet's loose. I see silver rolling, but long as the head is not in it, it's empty. And again, Respes with the
our official. I'm not sure what he checks in at, but Solomon Thomas, who's 290, had him in a full bear hug and just wrestled him to the ground like a little kid.
He's 5'9", 185 as a sophomore.
Oh, okay.
Respes. 3rd and 4 there. Quick to the line is Caden Smith. Now they're going to look to offensive coordinator Greg Cranfield on the near side. Now he's shot in the audible goes Parrish. He has receivers split. He's right back behind him. That's who gets the handoff like they did. Nate Hop. They ride for Littler of the required yard. Stop made by Bo Anderson, linebacker, 6'1", 215 junior. The 4A Lindale transfer, Bo Anderson.
And tackle too, you see that is a Coppell gang tackling. I mean, you'll see 2, 3 guys in on a tackle, and they've done so here. So it is a quick 3 and out. This is how Marcus responds. Coppell 3 and out. So kind of a gut, Jimmy. Marcus the first possession.
Rugby-style kicker did the step side, sat, boots it. Troy Parker was into the air. The flag's down. Did it hit a Coppell player? And did the Marauders are saying they hit the flag 6 right?
So the authority over Roy Nelson and Ty Mitchell to declare it as such, but he thinks it hit a Coppell guy and bounced off him. That Marcus recovered, but I don't think that's what they're going to rule here.
No, I don't think they are. Officials tonight, Ty Mitchell is the ref, Roy Nelson the ump. Brett Little, head linesman. Line judge is Barry Chapman, and the back judge just pick up flags. Ty Mitchell, he waves it. So first down, Coppell from their own 34. Ball smack dab, 75 now. They have a receiver close to the line on the left side, one to the right side. I backfield behind Skylar Bonneau. In their gray tops and white bottoms with the white helmets. Hand off Charles West straight in teeth, and he gets sacked. Boy, it was 3 yards.
Hupner.
It was Hupner again. Boy, he's had a good first. That hit, good sack so far.
Yeah, about a 3.5-yard gain, but boy, did we for it. He really got smacked a lick by Hupner there.
So it's 2nd and 6 now. Clock down to 7:40 to play, third quarter. Coppell leading at 27-3. They're 5-1, 2-0 in district. Marcus 2-5, 1-1. They snapped their 5-game losing streak with a 13-6 win over Louisville last week. I formation behind Bonneau again. Toss pitch right. Gavin McDan turns the corner. First down yardage out to the 48-yard line. And the first Coppell first down of this drive, sponsored by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Reuter DFW, on the web at mrreuterdfw.com.
So Coppell on the march, Jimmy, but behind a couple of carries quickly there for 4 and 7 yards. And, Marcus on their heels. If Marcus gives up another one, I mean, this could be it for the Marauders tonight.
So the Cowboys at their own 46, ball at the far hash. Couple wides, one each side, back splitting Skylar Bonneau. He keeps it. He gets into Marcus territory at the 49-yard line. He picks up 5, and rolling him over on the hit was Travis Perry, the junior defensive back. He's short of the first down by, let's call it 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Tyler Bell, a sophomore, in on that stop as well. They got several sophomores that see significant action in this game.
Yeah, that's a young offense and a young defense. They have 5 seniors, 4 juniors, and 2 sophomores. So 6 of those guys are less. 5, Bonneau out of the shotgun, throws it right to the 40-yard line. First down, a low throw around his knees, and he just couldn't bring it into his body.
Low, and his mind was training him to take off and run on a curl as soon as he pulls it in, and he wasn't able to do both those things.
So it's still third and 5 now after the incomplete. They have one wide out to the right side. He stands at the 50-yard line. And under center is Bonneau at the I formation. Fakes a handoff. Skylar rolls right. Throws from his 39. Across the middle. Complete at the 33-yard line. And the catch was made out of the Blake Mayhouse. The catch. Jump.
18-yard gain on that throw there, Jimmy. And, I mean, Bonneau has been under duress, but, credit him. Really does out there. He's able to drag these defenders like a magnet along with him and then just go air it out there and get it deep for a gain.
Fink to the left side with Deion Foster in the slot. Backs on each side of Bonneau. Doesn't to one left in the backfield, which was Charles West, and he throws a quick little bubble screen to the left side and going down at the 30-yard line with Deion Foster, and he's short of the first down.
Really good. Could have gone for that much, Jimmy. He had almost scooped it up off the ground. Didn't have much running room. The defender converged on him pretty quickly after he caught it.
He only gained a pair, so it's 2nd and work our way down to a third, lead in 27-3. I formation again, handoff Brandon, 2 touchdowns in the first half, and boy, he just fights. I like his size. Man, he is just 6'1", 200, 5'11", 190 pound sophomore. As he scrum through guys, says, you want to tackle me? Try. I'm going to butt heads with you and run over you. I'll do whatever I have to.
And what does it say that he is like the The third string back of the third option. He is terrific. He was a mini team.
Yeah, game out Monsters with Rice. They run to the line quickly. Toss pitch to the aforementioned Brandon Rice. Gets the first down. Gets across the 20. Tried to do a hand crawl, but was already knocked down at the 16-yard by.
In there, actually coming up with maybe a loose base. Rice, another first. The drive. Cowboy bunch.
Who has that 4-point lead, 27-3.
And looking for more.
Yeah, absolutely. Came in 5-1. Their only blemish this year was the 10 loss to Allen earlier this season.
Garland, I think.
That game just wiped off the boards. Up with 1 second left, then called a timeout. They used their first timeout here in the second half. 3:55 left in third quarter. Cowboys leading 27-3. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
If you're a basketball parent or coach, you need StatGeek, the simplest way to keep stats ever created. Our easy-to-use iPad app anyone into a professional statistician, and all they have to do is simply follow the ball. Produce full and accurate play-by-play reports. Send accurate stats out to your fans, media, or recruiters. It's sports statistic collection redefined. StatGeek is available right now in the iPad App Store for just $4.99, and there are team fundraising opportunities available as well. On the web at statgeek.com. StatGeek, keep your eye on the ball.
For all your auto, home, life insurance needs, plus personal customers right when most, call Agent John 97317-9630, extension 58782. Since 1912, we here at Liberty Mutual have been helping people live safer, more secure lives. Insurance from a company as responsible as you are. Go Cowboys!
Back in 1st and 10, Cowboys handoff to Brandon Rice. Jukes left, Jukes right, goes center portion of the field and fights his way literally down to the 1-yard line. So it's a 1st and goal, pickup of 16. Our man Brandon Rice almost had his 3rd touchdown of the night and his 6th of the season. Man, he's like a big speedy tank, and he's got those deceptive moves too. I'm impressed.
He really does. I mean, like I said, 3rd in the calling order, and just
1st and goal from the 1, I formation, and here's the handoff to fullback.
Is it Parker Wilson?
Parker Wilson, yeah, it looked like Parker Wilson took it. Parker Wilson stopped short. I didn't see any arms go up.
I didn't either, but they're getting ready for an extra point. So
okay, no arms, but the board hasn't changed yet, so hang 6 for the Cowboys. A 1-yard dive by Wilson with 3:15 to go here in the 3rd quarter. That ups it to 33-3 lead. As centers now will try the extra point, and he makes it.
Nailed it by about 40 yards.
Boy,
don't feel bad because we saw the ball move up and down the field without penalty flags or hand signals from the officials last week. Several times. In fact, there's a flag on this play as well, but I think it's going to be Marcus. But we'll see what Ty Mitchell offset to the kick.
Shake, 3:15 left in the 3rd quarter. Coppell leading Marcus 34-3. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
Daddy! Rooter. Why?
People change, and when that happens, you take a shower, you can't do the dishes, you can't do anything.
Mommy would like that. Hey, why do they call Mr. Rooter?
Because I get to run the company.
Why?
Because Mommy says so. Now I have to get...
Someone has a drain.
There's been a place for everything.
For the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores. 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. Corporate parties always elect your skills on the arc. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Back in Marauder Stadium, seeing Adam Centers getting a workout. He's going to kick it off again after the drive and the 1-yard scoring run by Parker Wilson with Centers' extra point. Makes it 34-3 Coppell. Waning moments here at the 3rd quarter. Adam gets into it, and he's going to boot that one another 63 yards. It goes through the end zone. And maybe even 73 yards.
9-play, 65-yard drive there, Jimmy, that resulted in pay dirt. Another touchdown, that one a Parker Wilson run.
Yep.
All the backs getting into the act tonight. Wilson, West, McDaniel, and Rice
who has 11 carries for 69 yards, and then McDaniel 6 for 91. We talked about Charles West 9 for 29. So
yeah, he's kind of taking the night.
And Rice and 2 touchdowns. Is Andrew Parrish under center, hands off to the left side, a gain of 4 out to the 25-yard line goes C.J. Respis. He didn't start, but they've been working him a lot tonight as the Marauders.
And Vince, his son, back to start the season towards ACL early on, about the second game of the year.
Right.
And even though Andrew getting a new reps, getting him on the same page with the receivers, and you've seen it in that Parrish has a strong arm, but he's kind of off the mark sometimes, wideouts on the deep balls.
And Albright just took it up the middle for a first down out to the Marauder 36. 2:33 to play here in the third quarter. Coppell with the 31-point lead. They trailed early on the field goal, which is the only points by Marcus tonight. Under center, Parrish, fake hands-off, rolls left. He throws across his body as a weird throwing motion to Tanner Rutz, the senior wide receiver. It falls incomplete shy of midfield.
And that's the kind of thing we said that just seconds ago. He's got a good, strong, lively arm, but he's not on target. And there, against the grain, he guns it really over the head of his intended wideout, Jack Cushing, and just a little bit too long. He looks like a guy that hadn't gotten a lot of practice with his wideouts, is what he looks like.
And as you said, with the injury to Coach's son, to Cole Irwin, here's a 2nd and 10 handoff, and they go up the guts. And looks like Nate Hopkins again. He'll fight his way. Correct that. I'll take that back. That is Alex Albright. And he gets to the 39. He picks up 3, brings up a 3rd and 6, and we just went under the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. Cowboys 5-1, looking to go 6-1 and 3-0 in the district. And then next week it is senior night for you on Champion Sports Radio from Buddy Eccles Field in Coppell. 7:30 kickoff. Under center is Parrish. He rolls left. Parrish does that. He straightens up again as he's rolling left, and he's a right-hander. Be a lot better if he was left-hander. And he completes a pass for a first down to the 48-yard line. Making a nice catch was the senior wide receiver Tanner Rutz.
Yeah, and that's a difficult throw to make, Jimmy, and he's pulling it off really well. I mean, the guy has a lot of raw talent and is going to have a good year the rest of this year, probably next year too.
Now they had Taylor Gibbs, who hasn't seen action tonight. He was a starter until tonight. Parrish only had 19 attempts. Fakes a handoff, throws, and no flag on that one. Boy, crowd wants a flag. Tanner Rutz wanted a flag. Back judge Justin Pierce did not drop a flag.
I'm surprised there was not a flag. And, almost on top of that, a terrific effort by Tanner Rutz, almost a one-handed catch. He almost pulled that thing in with his left hand only, and that would have been a great gain. That pass, in contrast with the others, was pretty much on the mark by Parrish, but Marcus, doesn't get the call there, and they didn't get the call on the pass interference in the on a Coppell touchdown drive earlier. So they're probably thinking we're at home and we're getting this. We're getting home cooked at home.
And the Roy Nelson had a good look at it as to the line quickly they go. Under center, Parrish, and the handoff straight, and nice run into Coppell territory at the 47 goes Alex Albright. He looks pretty good, too, the sophomore running back, 5'10", 160-pounder.
Yeah, and a pretty decent sustained drive here for Marcus. Started back at their own 25, and they've marched it about 30 yards up the field and held on to it now, for nearly 3 minutes. That's something they haven't been able to do all night. In fact, the drive before this went 4:54, that Marcus would really like to have.
33 seconds to play. Third quarter, 4-3. Coppell, you're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sport Radio.
All the latest news about the teams you care about in Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Hello there. Jimmy the St. Christopher. That is his very probes. See 30 seconds left on the clock. It's chilly in here. I'm glad I brought my jacket.
Yeah, and once again, straight week limelight. To go with his 3 he had last week.
Yep. Giving him 5 on the season now for Rice, the very good who's the 3-headed monster. 3rd and 5 from the 46 of Coppell, or Marcus rolling right fleet. I don't know if he's caught any catch, Barry.
No.
The Cowboy 33-yard line.
He had not, because Parrish had only completed 4 prior to that. It was
That's right. 10 for the pass over the middle. Boy, ongoing. Was down.
Sure who they're going to get for that, but after the play, someone didn't like the way something went down, and
demonstrable. It's been like. Where do they start? We can't hear the ref. We can hear the crowd. We can't hear the ref.
Oh, second penalty on Coppell, and a big one.
Bowen over case with those going. Look at Hitches. He's talking. Mitchell, the referee. Joe is a little on the tick side.
Yeah. And the ref, Ty Mitchell, says, Joe, look up there. You're up 30-43. Joe, you remember that pass interference penalty?
Right. And the other one that we didn't call on you guys. Yeah, he's still having words, is Coach McBride. I love McBride. He's great.
Yeah, he is great. Yeah, that was Caden Smith's first of the night. He'd thrown to Blake Bowling, Sebastian Arroyo, and Tanner Rutz and Jack Cushing before that. Yep. So only 5 completions now on the night for Andrew Parrish.
Yeah, and Smith had 28 grabs, 433 yards. That's 15.5 a pop, and 6 TDs coming into tonight. 10 seconds left in the third. Under center quickly at the 18-yard line. Straight up the middle inside the 15. Getting rolled around is Albright. Solly Thomas up off the bottom of the stack, the 6'4", 260-pound senior with that great burst that offers from A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, and countless others. And that'll do it for the third quarter. We'll start the fourth here from Marauder Stadium with Coppell leading. There's 34 Cowboys on Champion Sports Radio.
We could talk to you about our 24/7 banking. Or we could talk to you about 1,100 ATMs across Texas. We can even talk to you about our mobile banking app that lets you pay bills, transfer funds, and deposit checks from anywhere. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we enjoy more than to just talk to you.
Thank you for calling Frost. How may I help you?
We're here with the technology and convenience you want and the service you deserve. Frost. Banking, investments, insurance.
At J. Macklin's Grill, you'll perfect the art of unwinding in a space that's warm and welcoming, with food that's fun and satisfying. Whether you are inside enjoying the mellow ambiance or outside people watching from the patio, J. Macklin's Grill is sure to provide an unparalleled casual dining experience, which is why they were voted best in Coppell. Stop by J. Macklin's Grill after the game and listen to live music on the patio Friday and Saturday nights. J. Macklin's Grill, chef-inspired, reservations not required. On the web at jmacklinsgrill.com. Are you tired of owning?
Back at Marauder Stadium, ready to begin the fourth quarter here with the Cowboys well in hand over Marcus with a 34-3 lead.
And the good news for Marcus on this drive, Jimmy, quietly putting together a pretty good, solid drive. Started back in their own 25, 10 plays, near 3.5 minutes, but they've kept the Coppell D on the field.
So Parrish at the Coppell 14 on a 2nd and 6. He rolls left, then turns, looks to the right. He has hanging on the bottom of him was Elliot Tostrud, and that's why he had to throw it away. I think he was out of the box, but he threw it incomplete. There was a receiver in the vicinity, so they weren't going to get him for intentional grounding.
Yeah, he was, and on top of that, he was out of the box, but great pressure by Tostrud. And Parrish, good move back there. He tried to juke and get away, and they had a good play set up at first, Jimmy. He rolled out left, looked back right. They were going to throw the screen back the other way to the tight end, but it couldn't get free from the defender over there.
3rd and 6 from the 14, under center, and here goes 1-2 flags that crisscrossing each other as that long desired pass interference. Receiver, well, he's big too. He's got great size.
Yeah, and he was being tackled as he was running out there in the flat, and it was like, oh my, you can't miss that one. And so I think some sarcastic claps from the home crowd there in front of us.
Trying to find Coach McBride. how he reacted to that. He took his hat off. When he takes his hat off, he's not happy. So that'll bring up a first and goal from the 6.
Yeah, kind of maybe a 7 or 8 yard net penalty for what it's worth, but an automatic first down. So Coppell only with 3 penalties on the night and only for about 28 yards, but that one costly. And, coaches don't like to see you give them up. But you know what, Jimmy? I think he saved a touchdown probably.
Yeah. Coach McBride now with his hat off at the 21, yelling. Now he's having more words with Ty Mitchell. Ty Mitchell saying, look, once again, look at the board, it's 34-3. Your team's ahead. He probably wants that shutout. Being the defensive guy,
right,
he wants that touchdown.
They think about that. They think about no points allowed on the field except for field goals. But, Jimmy, sometimes I think, I don't know how all coaches think or how they operate, but sometimes I think they don't teach to do pass interference, and it's a judgment call, but there's a right time to do it, you know. And that was a right time to do it because that was going to be 6. So, you live again for another new set of downs, see if you can fight it off.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 10. They moved it back to the 10. Now a flag is thrown by the line judge.
Maybe a legal substitution. They broke the huddle.
See what time it is. Dead ball foul. No, procedure.
No, they're gonna,
false start, I guess.
Yeah, going to get them for that. And that's one thing you do, like if you're Joe McBride and you get the penalty, but hey, they could mess up. They could make a penalty. They just did. So,
Yes, they did. The scoreboard even says. Receiver split to the slots left. In motion is Smith. Fake handoff from Parrish to Albright. He rolls. He throws to the corner and through the mitts. Running toward the pylon was Tanner Rutz. And the throw was there. It was a little high, but he had a run. Couldn't.
And the photographer, because he got leveled by Tanner Rutz out on that pass pattern on the sideline. He got totally bowled under there at about the 5. And Parrish with a good pass, but just a little too much pepper on it for Rutz to haul in. That's the thing about Parrish and his mechanics. Really strong arm. He's got to learn to, develop that touch.
From the 15, Rutz Parrish fake handoff. He jukes one defender at the line of scrimmage and then gets belted at the 13-yard line, and I believe that was, who was that on the belt? Looked like it was Nick Arubi.
Yeah, I believe either Arubi or even, Nick Arubi, I believe, is the defensive back that came up to make that stop and quickly got back over to his defensive back position. He didn't really want any accolades from teammates on that good open field tackle.
3rd and 13 for Parrish and the Marauders. He fakes a handoff, and down he goes. I think that'll be the first sack of the day, and he gets slammed by Eric Wilhelm, the defensive lineman, back at the 20-yard line. It's going to be 4th and a bundle.
So there you go. They get that first down on the pass interference, and what's happened since? They've moved backwards 10 yards by virtue of penalty and a sack and another busted play. I mean, really good defense. They shorted up very well there on that set of downs, Jimmy.
So here comes a 36-yard field goal attempt. Jack Cushing will hold for John Coppins, the junior place kicker. High snap, and it is blocked. Picked up at the 31-yard line. Running into Marauder territory, and with his right hand throw after the block. That was Bryce Von
Zermeulen. Yeah, Von Zermeulen.
Put that name on the back of his shirt.
Yeah, he'll be having bratwurst tonight, Jimmy, after the game.
The 6', 180-pound junior Von Zermeulen, as it was blocked. Didn't see who got a hand on it, but he was there to scoop up the garbage. Now I see a flag at the 13.
And, Jimmy, so what a frustrating possession. It goes 14 plays. They like that. It consumes 5:14. They like that. But it results in a blocked field for it.
Unlike conduct. Was that?
Is he pointing? He's pointing at Coppell as the return. The hand up in the air? Or
it might be excessive celebration.
They have not put the points on the board. So I don't know if him raising his right hand in the air as he galloped down the sideline is going to result in the look at about. That's kind of where
the hands came up. Yeah, Von Zermeulen.
Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll be eating dry bread.
Sauerkraut.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Without the broth.
Uh-huh. Well, but a great play by the special teams unit and the whole defense. You know, they stood up and they pushed Marcus back, making him a field goal that you want, and then they block it and run it back, and that's what you want. They get the penalty. That's not what you want, but.
So they mark it off there from about the 17 or 18. Boy, the official marking it. Had to take a break. He was walking so far. Comes back to the 33 now. So blocked field goal snap. Newland for the touchdown. They get him for excessive celebration. I guess couldn't hear a referee towel, but around that point there, as you made note of, Barry, when he started raising.
That's a tough one, Jimmy. I don't. You know, you can sit there and say you agree with the call or not. You know, I don't know if I agree with the rule or I don't know if I agree with the call. It's just it's tough to fault the kid, you know, doing that.
And under center now, it is Miles Pascal, the sophomore quarterback, getting some reps in. I asked Coach Joe McBride in the pregame interview how sweet that was last week in the big win over the 43 win to get the reserves in later in the game. And he says it's always good, to get these guys some reps. So Pascal is sophomore, 6'2", 175. He's got some good size. Only throwing passes for 4 yards. They send McDaniel split to the left, eye back fine, Milder center from the 33. Second end for the Cowboys. Quick drop. He looks over the middle, fires a little pass. A 6 down inside the 24. He's dropped by Cameron Hupfer. Boy, I have to name player of the game. I think it'd have to be Hupfer for Marcus.
Good quick toss by Miles Pascal, too. And, I don't know every single rule Joe McBride and his staff have for their players, but if they have a rule, we know where the player is not to do any sort of celebration in the midst of a play. Okay, find fault with him, but if that's not as clear and defined, then, something like that in the heat of the moment is.
Toss pitch left to Brandon Rice. He gets the first down inside the 20. First down of this drive, sponsored by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Reuter DFW, on the web at mrreuterdfw.com. There's Brandon Rice again.
Yeah, having a great night. Yeah, something like that is really fault Von Vermeulen. Von Vermeulen is not a big playmaker.
No.
He's not gonna be a receiver or running back taking it to the house all that often.
And that wasn't. You're right. Boy, okay. No fun. Can't do that. Can't have fun. 1st and 10 from the 19 for the Cowboys. Miles Pascal spelling Tyler Bonneau at quarterback, and a long snap from center. Split left is one receiver, and boy, handoff. A bunch of white-helmeted white Coppell being shoved back by the silver-helmeted black shirt Marcus Marauders, their Raider outfits. 2nd 10, no gain.
With the red M on one side of the helmet tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes they get on two, sometimes they go on neither.
Liam Kaiser has coached some of his second and third string reserve players in. Under center's Miles Pascal, and he tossed pitches left to Gavin McDaniel. He recovers the fumble, then surges forward to the 20. Flag is dropped. One comes from the ump, one comes from the side judge on the 2nd and 10, and that barely got back to the line of scrimmage on the muffed, almost a fumble. Actually, did fumble. It bounced back to him.
A vicious tackle, and I don't know what the flag. It's a personal foul. Oh, it looked really ugly, but not. I didn't see the face mask, but I saw him being pulled in like a cowboy or something. It's yanked really hard.
Shouldn't the Cowboys be doing that?
Yeah, they should be on the other end.
Although, I guess Marauders wouldn't have ropes. They got the capes.
Usually, yeah.
They got the capes and those big Spanish hats.
Right.
And a couple swords, maybe.
So a big mistake by Marcus there, with an automatic first down on a face mask penalty like that.
And they dropped the stick, so it's 1st and goal. Obialo is split to the left. It's an I formation for Coppell. Pascal tosses to Brandon Rice. Brandon Rice breaks a tackle, 4-3, 2-1. There the arms go up, and Brandon Rice, 3 touchdowns tonight, 6 this year. It's 6:53 here in the 4th period. He ups the lead now to 40-3 on the 10-yard run by Rice. Yowzy. Whew.
Hats getting tossed again on the other side tonight for Brandon Rice. Second week in a row he comes up with 3 touchdowns. Prior to that run, he had 13 carries for 75 yards and gallops that one in. And so what a night he's had. Gavin McDaniels, 91 yards that he had.
Absolutely. Adam Centers has a strong leg from kicking all the extra points and then the kickoffs which follow.
He's getting worn out there.
So, again, it's a wide snap. Deion Foster reaches out, gets it down, and boots it through and true, does Adam Centers. And he gives a head slap to Foster on the wide snap. So 6:53 left in the fourth quarter. Cowboys up their big lead now. It's even bigger, 41-3 over Marcus. You're listening to Coppell on Champion Sports Radio.
Family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Adam Centers getting that strong right leg workout tonight. Boots it off again as the Cowboys have up the lead now to 41-3. Comes to the near side at the 8-yard line. Big hole, and he gets rammed down at the 23-yard line. Doing the ramming on special teams was Elliot Tostrud as he drops Cameron Huffner on the return, and he just got clubbed. So Marcus will put it in play. They trail 41-3. They open with the 40, and that's been it for them so far. It's been all as 6 rushing, the most recent coming at 6:53 here in the fourth on a 10-yard run. A thing of beauty that was, too, as well. Tyler Bonneau has tossed touchdown passes to Fink of 9 yards, 54 to West on a good catch and run. And then Parker Wilson had a 1-yard run as well. So it's 41-3, Coppell with the lead. 6:48 here in the fourth. Parrish under center, 1st and 10 from his 23. Delayed handoff. He went back 5 yards deep into the backfield to hand it off, and out to the 23 it goes in the arms of John Hutchinson. Cradling the ball, he goes down at the 24. Pick up a 1 at 2nd and 9.
Well, Jimmy, heartbreak for Marcus with the blocked field goal, and pay dirt for Coppell. It was a 6-play, 33-yard drive. Took 2 minutes and 56 seconds, if you could believe it, that long to go that short a third of the field.
Slot left, 2 receivers, 1 on each side, and out to the 31 after a gain of 7. A nice quick open hole on the left side for John Hutchinson. And he's short of the first down, though, by 4. It's 3rd and 4. 6 minutes even to play here, fourth quarter.
And all of that, by the way, spurned by the field goal block and 40 turn by Bryce Vanzermeulen.
Well split left, Cushing near side. They have a slot. Smith on the left side, the tight end. Parrish under center, hands off to Hutchinson again. He gets wrestled down at the 37. First down. Oh, nice tackle made by Jarrett Calvert, the senior linebacker, getting some playing time. And take in a call for the black-shirted, silver-helmeted, almost Raider-like uniform, Marcus Marauder. So Gibb, who more playing time this year but didn't get the start tonight, he's getting some action now for Coach Brian Irwin in the late going of this one with Marcus down 41-3. Now they'll send Welch to the near side, Cushing to the far side. Gibbs hands off to Hutchinson. He goes straight into the stack, and down he goes after a couple. And he stopped along that front line. Let's try to give you some numbers across the front for the Cowboys that normally wouldn't be in there at this point. Matt Rockefeller, defensive lineman, is playing the nose. And one of the tackles is Stone Ormond. They're playing a 3 down there, 3-4, but they had 4 guys up along the line. Handoff straight into the stack on the second down play, and Hutchinson again with a couple, and he's dropped by Cameron Nettles, who's the other defensive lineman. And we see Jarrett Calvert. He's made a tackle. He's in there.
A lot of new faces.
Yep.
And Jimmy, do you think the Raiders ever wore pink socks?
I know, all of them now for in
Yeah.
October for breast cancer awareness month. Jordan Barbo is in there as well. And here's a nice tackle made by one of those aforementioned linemen on Hutchinson, who straight into the pack. I'm sorry, it was Albright straight into the pack, and he was wrestled down. Nice linebacker tackle made by, I should say, defensive lineman Ian Lynch, 5'11", 180-pound senior.
And I saw a number check in that I, again, do not see on Marcus's roster, Jimmy, 81. So I'll try to research and see who that is.
That'll be Will Miller.
Okay. You're way ahead of me.
Yeah, I got the stuff
I'll just shut up.
that was sent to us. You know, nice programs, but the programs sometimes don't have the correct roster number, as we're finding out tonight, much to our chagrin.
Coppell, Jimmy, enjoying a 200-yard edge here in total yards, 347 to 147 right now, and the number of plays surprisingly even. Coppell with 47 plays, and Marcus now with 51, because they had that long 14-yard drive that frustratingly amounted to nothing but a blocked field goal.
And Coppell stiffened on 4th down, so turning it over is Marcus to Coppell at the 46, their own 46. Is a handoff. Pascal, big opening hole up the middle. Goes Omar Rosales, the big fullback, and he is tripped up in the second level at the 36-yard line, and he grabs a first down, the first Coppell first down of this drive, sponsored by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Reuter DFW, on the web at mrreuterdfw.com.
And good for Omar, Jimmy. I don't think Jason and I even got to mention his name last week. We didn't see him get in the game late with any carries, or he didn't get his number called. And good run by him there for a virtual first down. He's 9 yards and change.
5'11" senior, as we're under 3 minutes to play here in the Ball Nation.
I saw it. The right guard there. Yeah. Big Stone Norman there.
Norman jumped off. So Stone in there. Let's try to get some of the other offensive linemen there as well. Cameron Malcolm. Seth Margolis still in there. He's starting center. Jason Goodspeed.
Jackson Goodspeed. Yeah, Jackson Goodspeed had some good holes open last week, too, late in that game when he came in. There, that was the interesting thing, Jimmy. There was no drop-off from the second set of linemen. Maybe the Jaguars were so worn down. Or maybe Coppell's second unit is just that good.
Logan Farthing split to the left side. Pascal hands off, and there goes our boy Omar Rosales again, busting down for another first down to the 28, pick up at 13. Boy, he hits that hole, and he's not that tall. He's 5'11", but good weight pounds on him, 185, and he just busted right through there and picked up a nice 12, first down.
Yeah, 5'11" might be with a helmet on, Jimmy. I'm not sure. He looks a little smaller than that out there next to those other guys, just standing next to them. I mean, he's the most diminutive guy they got out there, but he's a quick, strong little back.
And here's now left. Pascal hands off to another running back that's in there, James McCray, who's listed as a defensive back. 5'11", 175-pound senior. He slants off the left side for 3, and it's 2nd and 7. We're down to $1.50 to play, so Coppell will go to 6-1, 3-0 in district. Is Marcus 2-6 and 1-2 at 5'8".
Well, I had thought Marcus might get 10 team points. I thought they would give up a lot less.
They've held them to the shutout as Pascal hands off. And now to reserve James McCray, the senior, getting some work. Well, where do they get all these running backs? They have the three-headed monster now with I tell you, I don't remember. I remember
3.
West and McDaniel. I don't remember Rice. So I covered their spring scrimmage. I did PA for their scrimmage back in the spring.
And he was not
I don't
involved
remember
at the time.
him. I have to go back to the notes. He wasn't using them. 3 from the end of this thing. 36 seconds left. Pascal turns, hands off quickly, and straight into the stack goes Omar Rosales again.
You know, sometimes, Jimmy, these guys can grow a little bit or get a little bit of quickness increase during the summer. And, you know, maybe he was a late bloomer and they elevated him to the varsity before the season. Maybe bring it up in 2 days and they just said, you're above JV level for the. He's just a sophomore, so you've got to see him more than I did if you saw spring ball.
Yes,
but, you know,
yes.
if that could be the case, it is now officially over.
It is. There goes the gun. Barry Probst says Coppell, for the 4th time this year, scores 40 or more points. This one ends 41-3 as they run their record now to 6-1, 3-0 in 5-5A play. Marauders 6, 1-2 in district play. That's the final score, 41-3. We'll return to wrap her up on the Jason's Deli postgame show. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
Just like every parent, you want the best for your child. While you want your child to be healthy and to enjoy participating in sports, you may also have concerns about their abilities and possible injuries. This is where Velocity Sports Performance can help. Whether your child wants to be the star of the team or just wants a little more playing time, Velocity Sports Performance can help your young athletes reach their goals. Visit their Coppell location at 801 Hammond Street near Bethel Road and Freeport Parkway, or visit them online at velocitysp.com. Become a better athlete today at Velocity Sports Performance.
For some high school seniors, achieving excellence goes beyond top grades, and AXA wants your help in recognizing them. Up to 12 DFW area students will receive a $2,000 AXA Achievement Community Scholarship, and one senior in Texas will receive a scholarship worth up to $25,000. Do you know a local high school senior who has excelled at a job, sport, community project, or other extracurricular activity? They may be eligible for an AXA Achievement Community Scholarship. For more details, contact Thomas Lee at AXA Advisors, 972-455-9114.
Are you studying on your own for the SAT or ACT? Follow My Test Answers on Twitter and Facebook for free solutions to official test questions. Got a question of your own? Send a message to My Test Answers and get a response for free. Got more than one question? Don't worry, we'll answer those too. With over a decade of experience in helping students prepare for standardized tests, the experts at My Test Answers will get you the answers you want whenever you need it. Test Answer, problem solved.
Save on your auto insurance by switching to Liberty Mutual. Plus, you'll get 24/7 claims assistance, convenient payment options, and personal service. Joshua 79630 extension 58782. Engagements quote. Go Cowboys.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShotboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
It's the old NFL Films music. 41-3 final score. Coppell 6-1 now to 3-0 in 5-5A district play as Jimmy the St. Christopher and Barry Probst, along with the nice throng on both sides for Marcus and Coppell winning tonight, and saw Coppell fall behind early. The first and only score of the night for the Marcus Marauders was a 43-yard field goal off the foot of John Coppins with 7:50. Then it was all Coppell as Skylar Bonneau tossed his 6 touchdown pass. It was 9 yards to Fink at 5:45. Into the second period we went, and it was a 13-yard scoring run by Brandon Rice, the first of his second straight hat trick of 3 touchdowns. By the way, they missed the extra point at Coppell on a bad snap on the first touchdown, and the second touchdown with the extra point made it 13-3. Then a 1-yard run by Rice with 39 seconds left in the half. Into the second half we went, a 54-yard scoring strike from Bonneau to Weston. That was a short pass, but a big run by West, juking and jiving, going all over the place for most of that 54 yards. Extra point was good. They made it 27-3 with 10:18 left in the third quarter. Then Parker Wilson, fullback, got in on the fun, too, with a 1-yard dive at 3:15, made it 4-3. And then our final score came to, man, I hope everybody's okay. There's 2 fire trucks on the opposite side going down the boulevard here in Flower Mound. Wow. 41-3 our final score. Brandon Rice, his 3rd touchdown of the night, 6th on the season, a 10-yard run at 6:53 with the extra point by Adam Centers. Made it 41-3, and that's where Coppell got to 6-1 on the season and 3-0 in 5-5A play. And Barry, you got some other scores there that we're interested in.
Sure do, Jimmy. Starting with 3-5A, Arlington Lamar is beating Arlington Martin in the fourth quarter late, 41-28. And Arlington Bowie just dismantles Sam Houston tonight, 69-14 over at Willeman Field. That one a final. Richland doubling up Keller Central still, 14-7 in the fourth. Haltom getting blasted by Fossil Ridge over there tonight to the score. And South Lake Carroll had a tight game with Keller at half. It was 24-14 Dragons at half, but they have opened it up against Keller. It is now 52-17 in the fourth quarter. Game still going on. Hebron has opened it up against Flower Mound, too. They were up 28-17 at half. They have raced out to a 49-20 lead in the fourth quarter of play. Pretty late in that one. Denton Ryan whitewashing Louisville 30-0. This one also out of 5-5A. And we'll see Denton Ryan next week, Jimmy, for senior night. And Coppell here, we said tonight, whipped Flower Mound Marcus 41-3. Tough to believe it started out as a 6-3 game after just one stanza, and Coppell was able to get some breaks and get some big plays busted and open this thing up tonight.
They sure did. As we're going through the Jason's Deli post-game show, they love fresh food and premium, more natural ingredients. Experience exciting flavors, true freshness, and real taste, so you know that you're getting nutrient-filled goodness for your money. Download the Jason's Deli iPhone or iPad app and skip the lines today.
That's a good deal. Also in 6-5A, LD Bell beating up Irving MacArthur 30-8 in the fourth quarter. Irving blast R.L. Turner out of Carrollton, 36-9 tonight. That's final. And Euless Trinity pounding Grapevine, 56-9 in the quarter late. On to 7-5A, the 28 South Grand Prairie tonight at the Gopher Bowl in Grand Prairie. DeSoto is beating Duncanville handedly, 55-29 in the fourth quarter. A couple of other finals for you. Cedar Hill over Mansfield Timberview.
They just shut off our mic to the crowd.
44-6, and Mansfield beats Grand Prairie tonight, 45-14. Lake Highlands gets a big win tonight over Dallas Sunset, 49-0. Skyline bombs Richardson, 62-17. Jesuit beats up Richardson Pierce, 42-19. And in 10-5A, Plano tripling up Plano East, 42-14 in the fourth quarter. They had a 35-0 lead. At halftime, did Plano. The Allen Eagles have stretched it out against McKinney Boyd. Actually, that was close at half. It was 24-14 right before half, and now the Allen Eagles are up on top, coasting 49-20 in that one. Allen looking to remain the top team in the state and remain unbeaten and keep crushing everybody in their wake, basically.
Yeah, they do a lot of that, don't they? Boy.
They do. I mean, Coppell was one of the closest forms of opposition in a 31-10 loss, and even that was close for a while. There was some mistakes that got Coppell in a 17-0 hole early, and then they kind of played even keel with them from that point on, and losing 31-10.
So our final here, 41-3. Coppell moves to 6-1 overall, 3-0 and 5-5A play. We'll check out the stats from tonight's game. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
Every parent, you want the best for your child. While you want your child to be healthy and to enjoy participating in sports, you may also have concerns about their abilities and possible injuries. This is where Velocity Sports Performance can help. Whether your child wants to be the star of the team or just wants a little more playing time, Velocity Sports Performance can help your young athletes reach their goals. Visit their Coppell location at 801 Hammond Street near Bethel Road and Freeport Parkway, or visit them online at velocitysp.com. Become a better athlete today at Velocity Sports Performance.
For some high school seniors, achieving excellence goes beyond top grades, and AXA wants your help in recognizing them. Up to 12 DFW area students will receive a $2,000 AXA Achievement Community Scholarship, and one senior in Texas will receive a scholarship worth up to $25,000. Do you know a local high school senior who has excelled at a job, sport, community project, or other extracurricular activity? They may be eligible for an AXA Achievement Community Scholarship. For more details, contact Thomas Lee at AXA Advisors, 972-455-9114. In
the aftermath of the Cowboys' 41-3 victory over Marcus, and the Larriettes and the Cowboy faithful who made the short journey up from Coppell to see the Cowboys win another one, this one 41-3 over Marcus. You got some stats there, Barry Probst.
Yeah, we do here. If I can get it pulled up here, Jimmy, it was Coppell had a big edge in total yards at the half and near the end of the game, probably upwards of 200 yards. If we can get them pulled back up here in just a moment. Coppell, 100 yards rushing alone from Gavin McDaniel, and then Brandon Rice was getting close, dangerously close to adding getting north of 90 yards himself. He had 3 touchdowns again tonight. Are you getting to the point, Jimmy, where you start arguing that he's maybe getting some starts for you?
Yeah, exactly. Because going back to the pregame interview I did with Joe McBride, I says, how sweet is it to have the two-headed running back monster in Charles West and Gavin McDaniel? He says, hey, make it 3 with Brandon Rice, with the 3 touchdowns last week. And you got to think now, you're right, that's a good question, Barry. If, and taking nothing away against McDaniel and West, who are fantastic running backs, but, it's got to be really nice to have 3 guys like that. And that Brandon Rice, I've seen West and McDaniel through last year and then spring practice this year and a couple games earlier this year, but Brandon Rice really looks like he's the real deal. Again, taking nothing away from Charles West or Gavin McDaniel.
And breaking down the numbers, one thing early that really wouldn't tell the tale is penalties. Coppell had 6 for 59. Flower Mound Marcus only 5 for 37, but they got back for the pass interference and then the face mask down here. Both of those enabled drives to keep going and led to touchdowns. 14 points to be specific there that tacked on to, what was could have been 27-3 or closer. It was 41-3. 2-1. That's kind of our theme here in terms of yardage, total yards. Coppell 377 to 150 over Marcus. First downs 18-10, virtually 2-1. Rushing yardage 40 carries for 234 for Coppell to Marcus's 97. They didn't even get 100 on the ground, and I know that's got to drive Brian Irwin crazy. Just the fact that they couldn't hang on to the ball longer, make the drives longer, keep Coppell's defense on the field longer and Coppell's offense on the sideline longer. They couldn't get any of that done. And if you were to tell him, Coach, before the game, you're not going to be able to get, many plays out there. You're only going to have this much yardage. He'd be going, oh, my goodness. And with good reason, as it turned out, and this overwhelming defeat. In fact, the average rush, 5.85 for Coppell to 2.85 for Marcus. That's 2.85 is just not going to allow you to beat average teams too often, let alone a good team.
We'll reveal our player of the game, which we have to decide on. I have a feeling that's not going to be that difficult for either of us. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
The perfect place to catch dinner before a Coppell home game? Then head over and check out the best mouth-watering, lip-smacking, finger-licking, great-tasting barbecue there is at Dickey's Barbecue Pit. Whether it's takeout, catering, or dining in, Dickey's Barbecue Pit will deliver some of the best barbecue you've ever had, and be sure to round up the whole Sundays meat-free. Dickey's Barbecue Pit is located at 801 South Denton Tap Road, just north of Beltline. Dickey's Barbecue Pit, slow smoked and served fast since 1941.
For more needs plus personal service right when you need it most, call Agent Josh Workman at 972-3130 extension 5 your policy.
And procure every. They also estimate that concussions identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continuing hard hits. Why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that holds football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
It's a Jason's Deli's post-game in the aftermath of the Cowboys' 4-3 over Chris. I'm Jimmy the St. Christopher next to Barry Propes. And player of the game, which we're just doing this on the fly, but I say Brandon Rice.
I say so, too. I mean, he comes off the bench. He gets 3 touchdowns again, 15 carries for 74 yards, roughly 5 a pop. That is 2 great games in a row where he has spelled 2 of the starting backs who are really good in their own right, in McDaniel and West, and he comes out and provides a third punch to the opponent. And, it really, you talk about smash mouth, it really has knocked the opponents, Flower Mound and Flower Mound Marcus, both these Flower Mound schools in successive weeks, in the gut just to have to take on another guy when you don't have fresh legs, and it's like, oh my gosh, you got another one out there, and then even Omar Rosales getting into the act. That was impressive. I thought that he gets in there, he doesn't get to play a whole lot, and he does. Marcus put some backups in at that point. If they're fresh legged, he's doing it on them. So a good tough little runner there, and all in all, another complete game. Special teams, returning kicks, blocking a field goal. I think this is the most complete game I've seen Coppell play this year.
And a good job of managing the game and quarterbacking it by Skylar Benoit. And then McDaniel with 91 yards, no touchdowns, but he had those 2 big runs.
Yeah.
And, that helps keep the momentum going, and as they put up 41 points tonight. So about to wrap her up, Barry. Let's put a seal on this thing as Marcus 41-3. And next week it's on to Buddy Eccles Field for Denton Ryan and senior nights. 7 o'clock kick will hit the air at 6:30. That's first Friday of November, the first day of November, a week from tonight. So Coppell goes to 6-1 now, 3-0 in district play with the 41-3 victory over the Marcus Marauders. Thanks to Barry Propes, John Crawford, Joe McBride, Brian Irwin, and everybody who made this thing possible. Jimmy the St. Christopher saying so long from Flower Mound, Texas, where the Coppell Cowboys beat the Marcus Marauders 41-3.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.